Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we might be in a ring of destruction, you might want to say. Almost like a ring of destruction like Johnny Cash would famously sing, because, boy, we have a lot to talk about here. Because our old friends that started us off here in the backyard in the underground wrestling circuit are back. It's been 2 years plus since we started in the backyard in the underground wrestling circuit, and they are back. And boy, America's favorite cat lover and America's favorite cat right now certainly is just as excited as we are. And I couldn't think of a better person than to kick things off with maybe the man right now that could be the most important gold holder. Maybe, with the Olympics coming up, presidential election, summer, it's certainly the man that has the gold that everybody wants, because he's America's champion. He's not just the U.S. champion. He's America's champion. We'll spend a few minutes on that, but he's also our favorite interstate champion. And certainly that does certainly span the whole Midwest. And he's definitely been holding it down for the foundation. He's been holding it down in WCE. He's the man that everybody loves. And he is the man that also helped alongside me bring up this All Wrestling Matters movement. And even we'll talk about that All Wrestling Matters ladder match that was just released on the IMF YouTube page. But for now, we'll certainly talk all things related to WC, wherever else the conversation takes us, because we got two other stars here that apparently both could have gold, and I'll talk about that and some. But when we think about guests here over these past 5.5 years, arguably the man that is our rock star, he was our 2023 guest of the year. He was the man that everybody loves, Jovi. He's a man, if you took a poll, everyone talks about polls and who wins, who loses. This would be a unanimous landslide. Although there's one person out there that may not agree with that, and that might be Jonathan Pierce. I'll certainly get to that and some. But ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to bring him back, especially in prime time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the only platform where figuratively and literally where all wrestling matters, a platform and a movement that this man built, and he certainly was at the forefront of it, even if he would agree or not agree with it all those years ago in that GBYWN. He might not have been one of the cool kids then, but he's one of the cool kids now, and that's why I want to give him that introduction that everybody's waiting for, and let's get right to it and start the show off in style. So with that, here on the Sportzwire. Number one.
Yeah.
What show? He's America's resident rock star, America's cat lover, America's cat father. He is, simply put, the reigning, defending IMF U.S. champion and the WCE interstate openweight champion, and the man that helped create the All Wrestling Matters movement and the All Wrestling Matters World Heavyweight Championship. Simply, his name is the Star America's champ is here.
Yeah.
How are you?
Doing fabulous, Tom. Couldn't be happier.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. And certainly you're a man that's so occupied. You've got gold around you. You've got cats now. You've got, I don't know what else is going on. It's so good to have you. Obviously, a lot to talk about. Certainly, everybody's talking about WCE, Ring of Destruction, and where do we go from here? But I guess we'll go down memory lane. We'll maybe go and talk about what happened at the Palo Community Center. But I guess I'll start off here because what everybody's talking about, figuratively and literally at the moment, for those that are listening and watching in prime time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the only platform where all wrestling matters, Sean Jovi, the All Wrestling Matters ladder match was just released to announce and crown that All Wrestling Matters World Championship, and talk about it because I'm going to put it up on the screen shortly before we get into business. And how did you like competing in it and everything else in between?
It was an all-star ladder match. That's absolutely for
What
sure.
a dream list of opponents. Couldn't ask for a better.
Oh, yeah. You have JX. You have the real deal Anthony Steele. You have Omen Black. It's his show, after all.
Yeah.
It'd be a shame if he never made it in, you know?
Yep, he did. Yes.
I mean, we had D'Angelo who won the whole thing. We had a slew of stars, man. We had both members of the Midwest
the
Express.
longest reigning champion of any sort in Resurrection history. You mentioned JX, and it's just an amazing field. You were in there, not too bad, and just some great people. We had Jordan Netz and Jason Myers, the tag team champions in the IMF. Jordan was the world champion there last year. Just an amazing set of wrestlers. Could not have asked for a better field in this inaugural ladder match to crown the first ever champion. Just an amazing accomplishment of people.
It was, and I'm very glad it went as well as it did. I know, like, at the beginning of the Summer Bash weekend, things were, like, looking rough, but I'm glad we all banded together and made all wrestling matter, and we represented that in that ladder match, and that's the part I'm most proud of.
Absolutely, no question about that. And, before we put the match on the screen for a few minutes, we'll put it on for a few minutes. I mean, just a really special time for you. I kind of mentioned tongue in cheek, the GBYWN. You and Remy kind of talked about that in the chat and different things. You were here not too long ago before Summer Bash, and you went from being maybe the kids in the back of the class to now you're one of the kids in the front of the class because you're now really at the forefront of this movement. You were one of the people that created it, and I think that that's why it's so good to see you in the middle of all these things. Summer Bash, all the success you've had now with the IMF, Jovi's vlog. Now you're America's cat owner. I mean, it's just amazing. What else can you do? Not do.
I mean, he's my first cat too. So
now, what is this? Now, what is the cat's name for the audience out there? People are like wondering who is now America's cat. Who is America's cat? Is it the first cat name? Maybe we'll call it the first cat.
Oh, man. His name's Fozzie after Chris
Fozzie, yes,
band.
I did see that on Instagram. Fozzie, good old Fozzie. And certainly Fozzie moves a lot more spry than the current guy that might be fronting Fozzie these, because there was a meme on X the other day, and it showed him then and showed him now. So Fozzie out there. How you doing, Fozzie?
Yeah, he's around here somewhere. He might have went back under the couch.
Yeah, he heard the intro and ran away.
He's probably mad I'm talking to you right now.
Yeah, I think the intro was too loud for him. Like, okay, I'm going to move on. This is too much.
He'll embrace it like I have over the years. He'll embrace it.
Well, I hope so. But I did want to put the matchup on
the following contest
because obviously we'll go and speed it up a little bit. But I got to get into WCE work. But some of these people, I know Anthony, you've heard a lot about on this platform. Obviously, Omen, you've shared a locker room with. But what was it like sharing a locker room with different guys you haven't seen for a first time, like a Drake Golddragon or a D'Angelo the Flame, who, maybe you've seen here, but know them? Obviously, Jordan and Jason, very well. But I'm curious, before I get into other things, what was it like sharing a locker room with the guys that you hadn't been with and competing with this at the same time?
Right. I mean, all these guys were great. I had great connections with all of them. I don't think there's a single person, well, maybe one person, but we won't talk about him.
I really don't want to talk about that person, but
I think you know who I'm talking about. I think you know who I'm talking about.
Yes, I do. Oh, yes, I'm well aware.
But everyone I shared the locker room otherwise was fantastic. Like, I love the energy. I love the vibe. Everyone was just there for the same purpose, to make all wrestling matter and to put on the best damn super show the world's ever seen.
No question about it. And you spoke about energy, and D'Angelo the Flame is there, and JX, and I mean Drake Golddragon, really three of the premier talents in the circuit. D'Angelo the Flame certainly everywhere. And
Oh my God. Dude, D'Angelo's theme has been stuck in my head ever since
I
Summer
was going to
Bash.
ask you about that and him, and I'm not going to bring up where he falls down and, and when he's coming out to the ring, but
I mean, if you want to see that, it's at the beginning of the last quest that I just
well,
posted today.
and it's been on Instagram and such like that. Big Man Cam made a meme out of it, but
Oh, I know.
I mean,
He wanted it put up there last I heard. So
yeah, well, he was here and he said he wanted it. I don't know why, but I mean, just what did he bring to the table? You've been around a while. You go back to ICW, you go back, you saw a lot of things in the forefront over a decade ago and GBYWN. And what does D'Angelo bring to the table now that you've got a chance to wrestle him that makes him this real raw energy and the guy that everybody talks about here in this circuit?
I will definitely say he was probably one of the most chill guys out of the people I met. And I think that vibe that he has when he brings it to the ring, that's what makes him stand out more than anything. He's like Sean Jovi if he were like amped up by like 1,000, like honestly, like if I could see myself amped up like that, yeah, dude, his character is amazing.
Yeah, I mean,
love D'Angelo a lot, and his wrestling ability speaks for itself too. He's good
oh my
too.
goodness. I mean, he's the one guy that even
He is
Jack
one of those guys that I absolutely feel could run the All Wrestling Matters movement with flying colors.
Well, that's what he's doing. And then we see Anthony Steele and he just, batters into everybody. And, what was it like wrestling Anthony real quick? You see him all the time on this platform and then you're actually in a ring with him. What was that like, more or less?
I mean, I didn't have a lot of interaction time with him, but honestly, Anthony's a beast. Like, you can say what you want. Like, anyone can say what you want, but I do enjoy being in the ring with him. JX was another one that really stood out to me too. Like,
yeah, JX is a guy, really has been around a while and is, maybe, I don't want to say going under the radar, but compared to like a Jack Delta, Anthony Steele, Aaron Blaze, LaFlame now, maybe hasn't gotten as much of the flowers that he should have, but he's definitely got them a bit more. And, we're watching some of the match. In the interest of time, I'm going to fast forward because I got to get into WCE. I got to get into IMF.
Yeah, get to the part where I do crazy things.
Let me see. Did I get to it? I think let's see. Boom, boom, boom. Let's see. Nope, this is not it. No, let's move it back.
Back. We gotta show everybody my dumb ideas.
Well, I wasn't intending to do that necessarily because I wanted to put you in a good light, but I mean, let's see where I am.
I mean, it was honestly that I thought it was a lot of fun to jump off of that thing. The problem is you can even hear in the audio and the video, oh my God, the foundation's bad in the center.
I think I got it. I think I got it. Hold on. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's come back to it here. Let's go. Sean Jovi, resident rock star. We're going to get the footage here. So I'm going to ask you on this and then we'll go on here. But we see it start to really unfold and we see JX and Anthony Steele. And that's a dream scenario in itself. And obviously Anthony Steele's taking a break, which is unlike Anthony Steele because he's always ready to get that microphone link, please, or do something crazy in there. But there he is, Sean Jovi, doing something that you wouldn't see in Appleton or certainly in Palo. And he's going for it. Maybe it's because of what they did to him in GBYWN or ICW, but he's getting up there. And boy, certainly he's definitely living on a prayer. He's more than halfway there. And I just hope he keeps the faith. And he's going to bounce off everybody. He might even crush him. And he's definitely going to be legendary off this. And we're all going to be in a circle watching it. And have a nice day there, ladies and gentlemen. There is no lost highway because Sean Jovi definitely showed why always he remains up. I got almost every Bon Jovi reference I could get in there.
You were pretty flawless on that, Tom.
I didn't realize I knew as much John Bon Jovi stuff as I did, but there you go. So obviously I'll get to the finish, but how you feeling after that? What's in your mind? Why did you do that for the audience?
Well, as we all know, I like doing high flying things that people my size don't normally.
You are the cannonball master. I agree.
Yeah. So I don't know. I was looking around the place all day and I'm like, what is something silly and ridiculous I can do in my match? And then I look at the shot. I'm like, oh, that works. But then Isaiah Rage, a few matches before me, did that splash off the top. And I'm like, oh, yes, no.
That's been a thing on TikTok. I'm sure you saw that's all been on.
Yep. Yeah, I recorded it. And I'm pretty sure I might have mumbled that bastard took my idea. I might have said that
Oh,
on the air.
well, you know what? I can't repeat that on the air, but I will see that we'll get to the finish here quickly because I got to get to a lot of different
Yeah,
things.
we
I've
got
only got
a
so
lot to
much.
talk about, my guy.
Oh, yep, and I want to get to that here. So we'll see Mr. LaFlame. Obviously, he winds up winning it for those that haven't got a chance to see it, but he's the winner. And just talk to me about seeing him become the first All Wrestling Matters champion.
I mean, as much as I'd love to say I could be the champion, I couldn't think of a better guy to deserve it.
Sure. Absolutely.
He really does deserve it. And I hope he does the All Wrestling Matters Alliance scene proud.
And he
This whole
seemed like
thing.
he's the newest member of the foundation. I saw what he did to Anthony Steele. I'm sure that there's people out there that watch every night were like, boy, somebody finally did something to Anthony.
Yeah, right. Hey, I mean, I like the guy, but sometimes you just gotta shut a guy up, you know?
Well, D'Angelo sort of unexpectedly did that, but you know, we see it there, and congratulations to
He
D'Angelo.
knows
Maybe
what it is, my
we'll
man.
show the Anthony thing, and then we'll move on because I really got to get to business with you because I don't have much time. And we see it there, and we see just real quick, and we see D'Angelo speaking. He said a number of things. Obviously, congratulations to Mr. LaFlame. I know I have a lot of comments from people. I'll run through them, and we are here again with all the guys from WCE. Nicholas Crenson, one half of the IMF Hardcore Tag Team Champions, and also Craven Rage or Sinister, whatever else you want to call him at this point these days. But then we see Anthony Steele. Anthony may be thinking about just a different moment in time. Maybe he's thinking about what he's going to say on Sportswire tomorrow. Maybe he's going to think about what he's going to say when he sees Craven Rage on here. I have no idea, but you know, we kind of see D'Angelo think oddly enough, and Drake Golddragon sort of leaves the stage, and it's all about to change very quickly. And Sean Jovi's looking around, and Sean Jovi's rather puzzled, and he's maybe thinking about why Bon Jovi hasn't gone out and done touring. And then we see what Drake Golddragon just did, and D'Angelo the Flame just looks around.
I don't know if my dad's voice can handle it anymore, man.
That's the word. The word on the street is apparently he can't go out there and do it live. I mean, but D'Angelo the Flame apparently can do it live, and he just basically gave some real raw energy to Anthony Steele. And yes, there are some, sure, people from different feds and different people that come on this platform. We're very happy to see that, but he is the newest member of the foundation. You must be very happy about that.
Oh, yeah. The brotherhood grows, the brotherhood continues.
Well, that's what
enough
it does.
said, my man.
Well, and we'll certainly come back to that. And congratulations to D'Angelo. I'll get to comments with that. So we got that out of the way, but let's talk about business because I got about maybe 15 minutes with you. Let's go to WCE first. WCE, it's some interesting times for you. I guess it's kind of been bumpy in a sense. We've got that whole situation with happened with you and Craven earlier in the year. You got the title back, fine. You wrestle your best friend, your brother, arguably Darkfire. You win the match, but then surprisingly, there was a man from the past that came out and, well, he's declared that he's looking for you and he's coming for you in that championship coming up here at none other than Ring of Destruction, and that's Jonathan Pierce. Jonathan Pierce is a man that a lot of people definitely remember in the backyard, the underground wrestling circuit in the state of Wisconsin. And Sean Jovi, you might be one of the most popular men, if not the most popular man in our circuit, but apparently Jonathan Pierce doesn't seem to agree.
Well, I mean, Jonathan Pierce was gone for a couple of years, and ever since he took his ball and retired, I mean, I can't help that say that, hey, I picked up the slack and I took the ball and kept it rolling.
Not only that, you built the movement. You built the movement pretty much.
Yeah, I built the All Wrestling Matters movement. I grew into a larger-than-life being that I thought I could never be. And that was probably the coolest thing. It's been almost a year now since everything changed. And I'm still on a cloud nine from it, man. Like, I'm riding this out as long as I can and as best I can. And that's the part that's the most important. But Jonathan Pierce, he's looking to ruin that. He's, in my opinion, he's jealous of the success I had in the time he was gone. In my opinion, I think he really wishes he could be Sean Jovi. But the problem is that he's not. Exactly, he's not. He can put the backyard on notice by taking me out all you want. There's nothing that's going to stop me. It's Summer of Jovi 2 Electric Boogaloo, baby.
But he is a man that has quite a past, and I guess he now
was the first one to hold this. Hell, he even pinned me to win this for the first for the crown the first champion.
But you know what's interesting also is in kind of piggybacking off what ADT said last time when we were talking about AJ Morgan. If you think about it, what better way for Jonathan Pierce to reinvent himself or re-enter the backyard in the underground wrestling circuit by making a name off the guy arguably that has been at the forefront of the All Wrestling Matters movement over the past year than you. I mean, that's basically what he's doing. He's looking to take you out execution style. And what better way to do it right now in this moment? And I think that's why he chose the time being now to return. And we saw that as vindication here.
Right. And I mean, let's put it this way. Every person has a weakness, right?
Yes.
You have to find it and exploit it. I'm pretty sure that's what Jonathan did here because I feel like his weakness is me. And the reason why I say that is, yes, when he dropped the interstate title to James Marshall and then went on to retire, I feel like he left with a chip on his shoulder, especially when he saw the rise of Jovi last year. And that's the thing. Like, you can be jealous all you want. You can think of me as a weakness all you want. But I think that Pierce doesn't stand a ghost of a chance because I'm in his head. He may think he's in mine, but you got to understand, he's been gone for a while. His head's a little fuzzy in remembering the game.
And the circuit has changed, and the landscape of you and the rest of WCE has changed drastically over these past few years. I mean, you don't even recognize this circuit or this scene. And to be gone as long as he has, I mean, in addition to some teeth he might want to find, I mean, there's no question that this circuit has changed drastically. And the question's going to be, I mean, is Jonathan Pierce out of step? And can he basically keep up with the times? And, well, you have done that. That's going to be the big question coming up here at Ring of Destruction.
Oh, yeah. And, I mean, Jonathan Pierce, he did have a one-time comeback match in IMF last year. You're in the that ladder match, which I was also in. But back then, he did seem like he had that chip on his shoulder. And I think that's why he wanted to come back, and that's why he targeted me first. I mean, look at the Shine Ladder match. It was at Highway to Hell.
Yep.
Most people don't remember, and Jonathan Pierce even being in there. You know what they do remember?
What?
Me squashing the living hell out of Freddie by jumping off a ladder and putting him through a table. That's what people remember.
They remember what is in front of them right now. And if you want to support WCE, you want to go back down memory lane, you can do that here. It's on their YouTube channel at WCE Heat. You can check them out on Facebook. You can see all the different things that the company has had. They're getting ready for their anniversary as well. Their 3-year anniversary of their return. They're in their 4th season currently. You can see all the great stuff that the company has had to offer. And we've got about a few more minutes with Mr. Jovi. Nicholas Crenton will be here, and we'll certainly see more of what's ahead. Let me ask you, though, a couple quick questions. Next, I want to go, if you had final words for Jonathan Pierce, what would they be? I know it's a tough one. It's a tough one.
I know, like, honestly, I've said a lot already.
Oh, you know what? Maybe you save those words for the ring. Maybe.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree completely, Tom, because actions speak louder than words.
I wish
Jonathan Pierce, he sent a message. He sent it damn well straight to me. He's back, and the yard's on notice. That's great, Jonathan. But you got to remember, the gate to All Wrestling Matters begins with me.
Oh, absolutely. Let me ask you, though, a different question, which correlates to Pierce. Now, you're back on top as America's resident rock star. You won the U.S. title against Isaiah Rage. You lost it. You've gotten it back. You've played hot potato with this title. But right now, you are at the greatest run that you've ever had in your career. And I haven't got a chance really to ask you this. What does it mean to you right now to be where you are in your career? You know, Jonathan Pierce is going to try to attempt to take something away from you. But right now, when we think about this circuit, sure, we just spoke about D'Angelo LaFlame and all the success he's had. No question, D'Angelo LaFlame is going to represent the All Wrestling Matters World Championship with pride, and he is the right man at the right time to be at the center of this movement. I think everybody is so happy, regardless of what he did to feel that he's on top. But you, Sean Jovi, in your own right, are on top. You got the U.S. title. You're America's champion. The Olympics, you've got the gold. You got the WCE Interstate Openweight Championship. Some have said that that's the measuring stick. That's the real main event title. You've been a huge part of things in the foundation. You're one of the more successful vloggers out there. We've got the Jovi's Vlog Championship. You have the Intergalactic Championship that everybody competes with, whether it's an IMF, DKW, JX. I mean, it's a whole list of people that compete for things that you have. And now you've got a cat. I mean, they're really at this point, you've got it all right now. And what does it mean to you when I think about last year around this time and you were trying to figure, sure, you had the RCW title, you had that, but you were kind of in this, I don't know.
I was in a weird place back then.
You were like in purgatory almost. You were like not sure where to go. There was a period of time when guys were like, do I want to come on here and speak? And you were kind of in the middle of that. But here we are about a year or so later, and you've got 2 belts. You've got a vlog that people view from all over the circuit. You've got a cat now that everybody talks about. You've got your own championship that you've created that everybody fights for on your vlog. And you're one of the guys that really is probably the most popular person in this circuit. D'Angelo the Flame might be the darling. He might be the best if you want to say that in the ring, but you are the most popular. So how does that feel?
Honestly, you talk about Jovi's vlog. Jovi's vlog, the first one, I wasn't even wrestling at that time. I didn't even know what to do. I was just trying to start my YouTube channel and do something with it because I haven't touched it in 2 years. That's the thing. And if somebody told me on February of 2020 or 2021, I should say, Sean, you're going to do all these great things. You're going to come back to wrestling. You're going to win multiple titles. You're going to start this movement with Tom Bryce and all these things. If somebody told me all that in 2021, I would think they're goddamn nuts and they need to be checked in somewhere. Honestly. Like, I would have never expected anything to get to this point, and I am thankful. I count my blessings every day, Tom. As a performer, as a wrestler, as a human being. I have grown so much through it all. I mean, you look at, that video right there and way back when against Happy, like, I thought that was curtains. That was my curtain call. That was my swan
song. We spoke about it when I put you in the Hall of Fame. We spoke about this when you decided to unveil the championship for the All Wrestling Matters. And, you're a guy that a lot of people really got behind for. You know what? As a matter of fact, I just wish you were here the entire 90 minutes or so. I would rather, to be honest, just have you here because truthfully, you mean so much to so many people. And I feel like that a lot of people they're behind you because in a lot of ways, Jonathan Pierce is looking to take something from you because you are America's resident rock star. You know why you're America's resident rock star? Because
Tell me why.
I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why, not quite in the way that NSYNC and the Backstreet Boys might have, but I'm going to tell you in the way that Americans as a whole are the ones that want to be out and do it the right way, are hardworking, blue collar, middle America, go out there and have a certain value, carry themselves and conduct themselves in a certain way. They go out there each day, every day with their lunch pail, if that's still such a thing. They go out there from 9 to 5 or 11 to 7, whatever it is, and they go out there and they work to give themselves a better life. They go out there and work to create for those around them. They're out there and they're selfless. They're dedicated. They're passionate. They care for those around them. They're good neighbors. They're loyal. They carry the values that built this country. You talked about being America's resident rock star. We just had our 248th anniversary, Independence Day, obviously the moment that we became a country. In many ways, Sean Jovi, sure, maybe it's a joke, maybe we laugh, maybe we have fun, but the truth is, Sean Jovi, that you are, in many ways, without even knowing it, without even realizing it, you exemplify many of those values that in real life, Americans want to achieve for their family, their loved ones, for those that they want to achieve the American dream. We talked about with Tennessee Backyard Wrestling getting into the Hall of Fame. It was a small business success story. Kids in high school started their own promotion and got 8,000 subs. But Sean Jovi, your story is very similar and might even be more, I think, of a way that connects with Americans than anybody else's, including TBWs, because You were out for years. You were a
Oh, yeah.
guy that, again, caught the tail end of the GBYWN, weren't one of the cool kids, weren't popular, really weren't somebody that maybe mattered, to quote. But here you are, and without even knowing it, we connect 2 years ago, and even last year at this time, you didn't know where you would be. You were kind of in this, I guess, purgatory, you might want to say, and
Yeah, it
yet
was a crossroads, literally.
you were at a crossroads, to quote Bone Thugs and Harmony, but you definitely went to the crossroads. You walked over. That's also another Bon Jovi greatest hits album. But the facts are is that you went out there and you did it the old-fashioned way. You worked hard. You put your lunch pail with you. You traveled. You listened. You worked well with others, and you did it the right way. And that's why you're here. And that's why Jonathan Pierce is going to try to fight like hell to execute you and take away things that you've built, which has led you, and that has built this movement. As Hillbilly Tilly correctly said on X when he just shared our show, that you are the guy, Sean Jovi. It's not me. It's not anybody else. You are the guy, because you're the guy that people identify with. You're the guy in a lot of ways is the ultimate underdog. You're the ultimate blue-collar, middle America guy that most people in this country are. Most people in this country, whether it's in our politics, our way of life, we just don't want to bother anybody. We're just middle of the road, down to earth. We have fun when we want to, when we can, and we just want a better life. And you've done that. You've put your blood, sweat, and tears out there, like Hillbilly Tilly always says. You do it for the love of this sport. You are here, and Jonathan Pierce is going to attempt, in a way, to take a piece of that. But come Ring of Destruction, something tells me that Sean Jovi is America's resident rock star for a reason. And he wasn't, for no small part, the reason of the All Wrestling Matters movement has grown. And you're going to go out there and actually turn the tables on him and execute him come this later week when we see Ring of Destruction, that interstate title on the line.
Absolutely. I mean, if it wasn't for Craven Rage interrupting this legendary title reign, I would have been champ for damn near a year now. And come August, and we're approaching that at the anniversary pretty much right around that time.
Yep.
And that's a big thing for me because I've carried this company known as WCE on my back. Almost some people would say solely on my back.
You have been the man. You have been the guy. You kept WCE alive. I mean, let's be honest. You kept WCE going. Was it Mr. Brightside? Was it Nicholas Crenson, Darkfire? Was it James Marshall, whoever else is in WCE? It wasn't certainly Craven Rage. The only reason that people have an interest in the only reason people have an interest in WCE still is because Sean Jovi, that's his company. He plays there. That's the facts.
I mean, and it's a sad but true thing. I love the fact that I am the center of attention and I'm the star of WCE. But the thing that bothers me is it shouldn't just be me. In a world where all wrestling matters, Tom, I feel like people should try and at least watch it for James or Kodak.
James and Brightside had a hell of a match. There's no
question. Yeah, and I'm not taking anything away from them. They are both magnificent, but I know they don't have the star power I have, and that's the part that's hard, is when people have star power or pretend in their heads that they have star power, but they're really over their head. It's just one of those things. It's like trying to think of a good analogy here.
Well, you're the guy that's carrying things, but yet in reality, there's somebody that they're trying to usurp and take away what you've built by keeping it alive and taking the credit for what you've built, taking the credit for the foundation that has kept WCE alive. That's what it is. It's the typical BYW stuff. It's the typical BYW politics that people talk about. That's the truth, Sean Jovi.
It is. That's the whole sworn American truth, my friend.
Absolutely. No question.
And that's the thing. I'm not a fan of politics. I'm really not.
Me either. Me either.
I think it's bullcrap. I think it's just completely overrated and unnecessary.
And especially in BYW, especially in the
Yeah.
backyard, in the
In
underground.
backyard, especially, because
Oh, yes.
let's say this: we're doing this for the love of the sport. We're not doing this because we want to make a career out of it. If we wanted to make a career out of it, we want to be trained by a professional.
Yes.
Not self-teach ourselves, not do any other methods. Don't play on a mattress and pretend you're a wrestler, whatever. Whatever you do out there, we do it for the love of the sport. Me especially. The backyard scene has done so much for me over these last 17 years that some could say it's been a game changer. Every time wrestling has left, and I am down, Tom, like I was in 2021 when I started this vlog, wrestling always found a way back to me. It's like Ian Malcolm says in Jurassic World, life finds a way. And that's kind of what happened right there. Life found a way to come back and let me go on this legendary run that I thought I'd never, ever see or have again. And this run has been one for the ages, legendary, if you will. It's really cemented my legacy as a human being, as a performer. It's really done a lot for me. And so has Sportzwire, so has IMF especially.
Yes.
You all have made Sean Jovi, whether you realize it or not.
You were the
me doing the work. You guys helped me light a fire under my ass to do that work.
But you had that fire, and that's why it's not going to end at Ring of Destruction. That's why Sean Jovi, the legacy of Sean Jovi as America's resident rock star will live on forever. There is no question, ladies and gentlemen, that we will always see Sean Jovi be America's resident rock star, America's champion. This is America's champion. It's never going to end. That legacy, the legacy that Sean Jovi has built over the past 17 years, and especially over the past year, will live on forever. It will live on forever on this platform. It will live forever in backyard and underground wrestling history. It will live forever in the IMF. It will live forever in all of the people that watch each and every single time. It will live forever in the hearts of the Jovi's Vlog fans, everybody that follows you, all the fans that wear your shirts, and even Fozzy. Fozzy knows that legacy is going to continue. But before I let you go, I want to let everybody say hello to you. I got to get everybody to say hello to you.
Oh, yeah. Sure. We haven't even seen anybody yet.
I want to let them. I don't want you to leave without the people saying hello. D'Angelo LaFlame, naturally, he is here. How you doing, D'Angelo? Good to see you. Obviously, your man, Mr. Soldier GP, the IMF champion, the man that you certainly had that famous battle with just about a year ago, maybe about 10 or so months ago, 10 and a half months ago. Good to see Soldier as always. Want to say hello to my friend, Mr. Tyler Fury. Mr. Fury is going to be here Sunday night. He's going to be here in prime time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage. Really looking forward to speaking with him and his story. He's also from the neighboring state of you in Illinois, the good state of Illinois. Very excited about that.
I've got plenty of history there too.
I'm talking about it with Mr. Fury for sure on Sunday's show. Very excited about that. D'Angelo LaFlame gives a emoji of some sort with fire and hotness. Maybe the real deal, Anthony. I don't know what that means, but
yes, it means I did a bad. Typo in the entrance.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And yes, I figured I'd bring the WCE merchandise out for old time's sake. Zilla, hell yeah. I want to say hello to maybe a man that's you might see it in a few months. Who knows? He said he was coming your way, Mr. Dalton Skull.
Howdy.
You never know. Zilla,
never
oh my God.
Never.
Dalton gave the eyeballs. Maybe, you know what? Maybe the cavalry is coming. It's coming and we don't even know it.
Hey, if WC can stay alive and recover, I would love it.
Well, Dalton Skull could be that cavalry. He could be that cavalry. Jake Dvorak. Jake was very excited about tonight's show. Sort of. He was actually asking about you. He said he had a very productive conversation with you recently, and he was happy to see that you were coming on. I'm doing great. How about you, my friend? I'm really looking forward to Sunday sharing your story in prime time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage. Yes, Zilla is here, and I don't know why D'Angelo keeps saying hello to Zilla, but maybe D'Angelo's got a little Zilla. Adonis Felios wants to congratulate you. He wants to congratulate you on the gold. Thank you. Congratulations to D'Angelo LaFlame. Yes, and what a great job D'Angelo did over in the riot in the ring. Thank you, Jake. Yes. By the way, make LaFlame don't pull another. Yes, with the electric rule. Yes, thank you very much. Yes, the entrance was funny. Think that LaFlame found Waldo down there. Air Jovi in America. Also, if you are out there for the first time, hit the sub button for me. I'm 183 or 4 subscribers away from 1,000. And Sean Jovi, you take over the platform. The people take over the platform. Once I hit 1,000, you get to roast me. I'll keep the floor open the entire time. And anybody that's in this circuit, anybody that's a Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame or a guest, they're welcome to come on down and roast yours truly. So get me to 1,000.
The roast of Tom Bryce.
You get me to 1,000 subs, and I want those 1,000 subs by my birthday, October 7th. Today's July 23rd, and I think I'm going to get a chance. I think I definitely got a chance because I was at 500 on January 25th. I was at 600 on March the 7th, and I'm right now at 800 and whatever on July the 23rd. Superman's got nothing on Jovi. Foundation did gain another member, 4 up, 4 down. Hillbilly Tilly, thank you so much for your support. He shared our stuff on X. He is always so behind us. Another old-time backyard legend who's doing a great job in the AWL, where D'Angelo LaFlame has opened up shop and stopped and dropped, whoa, as he rocks and rolls. Howdy to BYW's resident rock star and Reverend Jovi is a respected veteran in our community and love to hear him talk our craft. He knows. He was in this game competing when you were in prime time the first run. The energy of the All Wrestling Matters movement and works in his promotion. Thank you. I thought I retired Pierce. Well, he's back. 4 up, 4 down. You know what it is, my man. Big Man Cam with the rather funny intro says, Dale Earnhardt died 2001. Big Man Cam born 2001. Welcome back, Dale Earnhardt. Boy, Big Man Cam giving us some morbid comments here, rather morbid comments today. Big Man Cam certainly made a Bigfoot-like entrance there with that. Dilla, don't forget Drake Dragon. Yes, do not forget him. Want to say hello here to him. How you doing, him? I don't know who him is, but if you haven't yet, hit the sub button for me because I'm trying to get to 1,000 subs. Ox McCoy, a man you've defeated twice, but Mr. Crenton's going to get to him in a few minutes. I'll leave my buddy who's bound in blood, reigns in blood, and sent all his messages in blood shortly. Yes, Broken Table Tour. What's the evening, Ox? Let me get to some more comments. Dark Father. We had him and Dark Father at the same time, so I don't know which one's which. Sean Jovi answered the question how many years he's been wrestling. Can I win Fozzy? I don't think so. I don't think Fozzy's negotiable. What's up, Felio? Sorry, I got in listen mode. How's it going tonight from Ox? Boy, comments are galore here.
Busy night tonight. I'm happy about it.
Well, because I think you're here and the guy last is coming on. Let's just put it that way. Hello, Austin Tyler. We'll certainly say hello. What's up, Ox? It's going. I'm driving back home at the moment. Where are you going? Where were you coming from, by the way? That wig though, yeah, the wig. The wig was funny. That's Nightzilla.
Good times.
Evening James. Ox, I guess, is avoiding work responsibilities. That'd be bleeding. Oh, in America. Reminds me of the Night Ranger song. You can rock in America. Oh yeah, that was a great song. I mean, me too. If you count. Oh, he's still unemployed at the moment. So where were you coming from? If you said you were going from, where were you coming from? You're unemployed. You should be here on Sportswire. RCW top tier. Yes, I know who you are. I don't know who you are. But. Hit the sub button for me. Andrew Lovelace, how you doing, Andrew? Nice to see you. I think your new tag team partner is here soon. Top tier champ leave. Is he the son of a plumber? Are you the son of a plumber?
No, I'm not.
Fair enough.
I'm a son of a warehouse manager and a son of a rock star.
Close enough. I think, you know what? I think most people will say good enough.
We'll say the son of a rock star, though, since we're staying in character.
And there's 75 members of the foundation. 11, actually. The soldier answered it. Bullet Club, too many. Or NWO, Hollywood, and Black and White total. I was close enough. Life handed you lemons. Pierce kicks you in the balls. It's a good line there. It's a good line. James is coming up with some good things here. James had a few more moments on Sportswire, but this is the most in a while he's had to say. Yes, I know the top tier mid-card champion is here, but how can you be top tier and mid-card at the same time? I don't know. Help me understand. I know nothing about wrestling, but I'm 1 sub away from 20. Well, I will get you 2 more of those subs when I'm off the air. Big Man Cam, just jealous. James Taylor says, hello. Have a feeling we'll be seeing him later. Come on, GP. Thought I loved you. You do. Yes, I know you're the RCW top tier champion. Seriously, I got you. Raise hell and praise Dale. Yes, absolutely. I can't believe it's been 23 years since he's dead. I take my girl. Oh, he takes his girlfriend to work every day. She don't got the car to drive. Ah, I see. So you obviously are doing the driving Miss Daisy. So good lucky you. Hail Dale the Intimidator. Yes, he was. I think I might have a Dale Earnhardt race car toy somewhere. I actually believe I might have it. My uncle or godfather loved race car driving. Right now we're talking WC, and you don't work in that company at the moment, so I'll get back to you. She speaks 2 languages, or else we'd be in the same boat. I got to learn more Spanish. Dude just made a statement, Helen Keller language. Yes, that reminds me of my 3rd grade class. You've already answered the question. This is the WCE's night. So you can come back a different time and we'll see. Stay tuned. How about that? I'm being nice. Did I even see the GP? Okay. Anything else you want to say? Because I got to get to Nicholas Crenson in before I get to what I think people are waiting for, whether people want it or not.
Well, I mean, I've gained, I think, about 15 subscribers since Summer Bash, so keep them coming, folks. I just released the last part. I just released the last part of the vlog for that. And if you got a few more matches at it for Summer Bash, then I should be home free to work on the next project. But I'm really excited for what the community is putting together and everything that's going about. I mean, now we have a hardcore title, a tag title.
Yes,
that's Jake in the works.
We have NEW. We have Mac 10, who's from our crew, and Kato's from our crew. They're competing in it, and we have some guys, really great guys. We had Rob O'Malley, who was here last weekend. He's in it, and Stefan Havoc, who goes back. A lot of great guys are in that field, and Mac 10's created the tag team championship. I'm really fired up.
I am too. But there's one thing I want to keep in mind to anyone who does want to contribute to this.
Go for it.
There was one flaw when I talked to Rad Dad back when he ran GBYWN.
Talk to me.
So there was a flaw in the whole thing where when Rad was running it, he had too many titles. He had a title for damn near anything. Like I held the World Pure title, and I didn't even know anything about pure wrestling. Like let's just put it that way. All right. So I love the tag titles. I love the hardcore title, and I especially love the World's Underground title. But I just want to say to those who want to contribute and help, don't always make it about a title, because if we have too many, then we're just a belt federation. Kind of like AEW is kind of doing,
fighting for something. We're not fighting for a storyline. What we become really in simple terms or layman's terms is that we become like sports, a lot of the professional sports leagues where basically everybody makes the playoffs. The NBA has a play-in tournament, then a playoffs. The NFL now has added extra wild cards. Baseball has added extra wild cards. The NHL has overtime and shootouts. Everybody gets a point basically, as long as you basically play and get a tie. And we have playoffs that go for 2.5 months. And in wrestling, we want to keep it to a way that everybody's competing for something and not settling for things or doing things that only give them something to not chase a brass ring. So I think that those are some good advice, and we want to keep it to where it's a few things and let everybody
let's not flood it. And I know I was coming up with the whole backyard news thing. That's going to be a while. I still got to edit, finish Summer Bash.
We got this platform's pretty much the backyard news. I mean, I'm here.
Honestly, you are the news source of the world, Tom.
I mean, to be honest, I'm here every single. I did an open mic yesterday. You saw it, and there was like 14 people live on YouTube at 1:30 in the morning. I mean, at this point, I'll do the legwork for you, and we'll do the best we can with those things.
And honestly, when you think about it, the modern day Backyard Wrestling Weekly is with your daily host, the Reverend Tom Bryce.
Well,
you took what was scraps, and you're basically making it work. Just like I took the scraps of GBYWN,
right?
Making it work.
And it's the back. Before I let you go, it's the backyard in the underground wrestling circuit that has built this platform. It's built the community. It's given us a reason to be here every night. Yes, I've done other things, but it didn't have the movement. It didn't have the legs. And I'm with James Marshall. There should be a thrill of the chase. And I think that those are well-said things. Hit the sub button for Sean Jovey. Let's get him to it. He's not that far behind. He's at 727. So I want you out there. If you're on YouTube, hit that sub button, because together we win. We all win. So yes, you want to roast me? I'm almost there. Roast me. But Sean Jovi, he's been putting his tail. He has been doing everything he can to help this movement. So let's get him a sub or two. Let's have your friends give him a sub. Just continue the movement. Get him to 1,000 subs. That's what it's all about. My friend, I can't wait to see you soon with Remy. I know I'm going to see you also coming up with the IMF stuff coming up. Congratulations on the U.S.
Thank
title.
you so much, Tom.
Congratulations on Fozzy. And I'll see you soon. And take a break once you're off from editing work.
Yeah, right. Thank you, Tom.
That was Sean Jovi, the resident rock star, and we're going to take you off the screen, Sean. Sorry about that. We could have kept you all night, but I am here with now one half of the IMF Hardcore Tag Team Champions for a minute. That is the resident rock star's very, very good buddy, you might want to say, and he is now nonchalant, but I don't think he's nonchalant anymore because after what he did to Ox McCoy and Urich the Viking, he is one half of the IMF Hardcore Tag Team Champions, and he's back in action this week at Ring of Destruction. He is Nicholas Crenson. Nicholas, congratulations on winning those IMF Hardcore Tag Team titles, my friend.
Thank you very much, Tom. I am sore as hell after that last team standing match. And yes, we did have a slight advantage because of what we did to Urich, but also Karma is a bit of a bitch too. But it feels good to have gold again.
Well, congratulations. First of all, congratulations. And how does it feel to be back on top? I mean, you got a short turnaround here because you got Prince Charles, who's going to have some breaking news and return to the ring here against you. But how does it feel to have gold? You went 17 years plus without getting gold or major gold, and it only took you a few short months this time to get back on top, this time in a different promotion. So how does it feel to be back on top with gold?
It feels amazing, Tom. I couldn't have done it without Darkfire. Ox, you are one of the hardest hitting competitors I've ever been in the ring with. But I've also been in the ring with a lot harder. And honestly, Tom, you actually mentioned the one wrestler that I've been in the ring with before that actually has trained me. And he is the hardest hitting wrestler in the ring, bar none. Mm-hmm. Bar none. Because not even Soldier, not even Omen, not even Ox, not even Urich, and not even Craven Rage hit as hard as Jonathan Pearson. That's the one thing I'm actually going to say is, Jovi, I love you, buddy, but you better take him seriously because the most dangerous man in backyard wrestling history is going after you.
Really? The most dangerous man in backyard wrestling history. So before I get to your own thing, Jonathan Pierce is a man that he's done some damage to you, and he did a lot of damage to Mr. Jovi's, I guess you might want to say, jewels there, his crown jewels, and they don't call him the executioner for nothing, huh?
No, they don't. And the real danger is the Pierce that we got was at the beginning of WCE was kind of a shell of his former self. The Pierce we have now is a Pierce that has cleaned himself up, has refocused, and he is also more determined than ever to be one of the best. And that is a scary, scary thought. Just because here's the thing. When he says, I'm going to get somebody up for something, he's going to do it. Dude can lift me over his head like nothing. He could easily get Sean Jovi up.
And he's motivated to get gold. He's motivated to win a championship that he's held before. And this is a championship that has meant a lot to Sean Jovi. And we talked about Sean Jovi and just the run he's had and just how, in a lot of ways, he identifies he's what Americans are, what most good Americans are. And Jonathan Pierce is going to look to take some of that away from him coming up later this week.
That is true. And I'm just going to reply to a comment I see here. Soldier, you don't hit as hard as Pierce. I've taken Pierce's hits. I've taken your hits. He hits harder.
Well, I mean, we'll obviously, I'm sure, find out. I mean, that's obviously something that you guys will have to figure out at some point. But okay, so Pearson and Jovi, they'll fight it out. We'll see what happens there with the Interstate Championship. But you, Nicholas Crenson, I mean, you have a match coming up with a guy that I guess you might want to say is known famously more for being a Craven Rage sympathizer, lackey, fanboy, did breaking news, couldn't really say breaking news correctly, but he seems like he's made his way back into WCE, and you're wrestling him in Prince Charles. And for the audience here listening and watching, what can we expect between you and a returning Prince Charles, who I believe makes his first match or debuts here back in WCE for the first time in I think about 8 or 9 months, if I'm not mistaken? What
Prince Charles. Oh, I haven't heard that name in a long time. Huh.
Well, last I remember him, he was wrestling Craven Rage, and he was a fan of Craven Rage's, and he would come on here and he would just basically praise Craven Rage. He was basically, I would say, almost a Craven Rage lackey, and he wrestled Craven Rage. And then, if I'm not mistaken, weren't you and him sort of, I guess, trying to figure something out? Then he had him and Dash Andrews. And we go back with that. That's a name I'm sure you've heard of, a blast from the past. And it's been a hot skip in a minute. He makes his return here in WC for the first time in just about 9 months. And he's here looking to make a name off you, just like maybe what Jonathan Pearson tends to do to Sean Jovi coming up in Ring of Destruction.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember last time I was in the ring with Prince Charles, I choked him out with a Wayne Brady special and retained the RCW World Underground Champion just before.
You're one of your 2 title defenses, right? You defended the title twice, right?
Just before Darkfire cashed in his golden ticket,
yes.
Which honestly, you got to be smart to do it after a match. But man,
it's been a while, right? Prince Charles is here, and he's gonna look to really make an impact, because if you think about his first run in WC, it was mixed. It was honestly a mixed track record. He was really known most for being this guy that would say breaking news, and he was basically pretty safe to say a Craven Rage fanboy. I mean, which is far and few between. Craven Rage fanboys, and he was a Craven Rage fanboy, and he's going to a example of you. And you talk about Jonathan Pearson, Ox McCoy, and Soldier GP and how hard they hit. Prince Charles is going to give you everything he can but the kitchen sink come Ring of Destruction later this week.
Actually, I do want to also point out another thing, and I think Soldier just pointed out too. Another person that hits pretty hard is lately Freddie Daniels. He has stepped up his game.
And Anthony Steele hit you pretty hard too, according to James.
Oh my God, that Claymore! What the heck? I literally just blinked and he was in my face. That was faster than I imagined.
Yeah, well, that hit you quicker than almost a New York minute.
Oh yeah,
and
and
you're gonna have to figure out how to recover from all this.
I'm gonna have to study myself, watch that tape over and over again, because I'm going to make sure next time I'm in the ring with Mr. Steele, I do not make that mistake. I'm one that doesn't like to make mistakes twice, and I very rarely do.
I mean, you're gonna have to bounce back. I mean, you had this emotional victory in the Palo Community Center. You were a part of Summer Bash, but you're gonna have to find a way to recover here at Appleton, Wisconsin, because like I said, Prince Charles is a man that he's going to make a name for himself if he has it his way.
If he has it his way. But Tom, I'm also on one of my best single streaks in WCE to date. Mm-hmm. I've won the last 1, 2.
Well, you beat a guy at the last show we had in WCE. Probably heard of him. I don't know. What do we call him? Sinister, or is it Craven Rage as most people? You beat him in a 2 out of 3 falls match, which actually was sort of, I guess you could say, with the help from your tag team partner, Darkfire, and obviously a stop sign help. Yes. You remember that match? Remember it a little bit?
Oh, yeah. And yes, I did have help from Darkfire, and that was kind of a bit of poetic justice because Craven, Sinister, whatever you want to call him, while he was all-out champion, and anytime he's been champion, he has gone to lengths to break every rule he can. So I just kind of did an old.
Well, the only thing I'm seeing here is basically Craven Rage or Sinister is doing his best Predator costume design here. So that's what I see. And more or less, Craven is doing his own, I guess you might want to say, version of Predator. But you've had some run, no question. It's been a great run. You've had some big wins. You've got gold. But again, Prince Charles, how do you avoid an upset? Sure, you beat him last year. Sure, Prince Charles has struggled against guys that, no question, are lesser than you in this circuit. But he's coming back, and he's got big plans, and he's going to look to make an example of you, undoubtedly, later this week.
Honestly, do what I do best. Hit him as hard as I can. You know, I could chop him. I could hit him with my elbows. I could nail him with a knee strike. But the main thing I'm going to do is I'm not going to sweat it.
Okay, well, you know what? We're going to find out. I got a few more minutes with you. Let me get to some comments here. Let me get to everybody back before we come out here. Also, please support WCE. They're on YouTube, Facebook at WCE Heat, also WCEHeat.com. Ring of Destruction is out later this week. They are getting ready for their anniversary as well. Anniversary will be coming out next month. So WCE is in their 4th season, 3rd year. Congratulations on all the success WCE has had. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice. Figuratively and literally, we're all wrestling matters. In about 10 minutes or so, Craven Rage will be here live, and he will be here to address what's to occur at Ring of Destruction and also anniversary and everything else in between. And if you are on YouTube, please hit the sub button for us at Sportswire Radio 6579. And we're also about to be joined shortly when Craven Rage is here on the Promo Wrestling Federation YouTube page and the Pride Wrestling Federation YouTube page. James Taylor, says he likes the chasing the title more than being a champion. Yes, I see these numbers. James Marshall likes thrill of the chase. SummerSlam is next Saturday. Yes, I agree with you on that. Some people just want belts for selfish reasons. Well, we might see somebody here coming up in about 15 minutes. We'll move on from that. Sean Jovi got 3 more subs. Love that. James Marshall, also want to let you know you should have 21 subs now because you got from yours truly's pages that he owns. So congratulations. Yes, thank you for, yes, you're the top tier RCW mid-card champion, but it's really not your show. But yes, thank you, Austin Tyler, for coming and joining us here, and we appreciate your time as well. Congrats, Crenson, you deserve it. What's up, Rockstar? Zilla's in the house, the usual stuff. Yes, big shout out on winning gold again. Somebody wants to come back to WC, I suppose. Crenson, you capping boy, Pierce. Yes, we spoke about that earlier. Spoke about the whole Steel thing. Spoke about this. Freddie, learned from me, brother. I probably would have taken you out a few seconds faster. James Taylor, good old James Taylor, the legendary James Taylor, who I have a feeling is going to be here later and definitely tomorrow. Yes, that Claymore is great. Nicholas Crenson felt it firsthand. Ox McCoy said that's what she said, Crenson. Ooh. Darkron's in the house. How you doing, my friend Darkron? Thank you so much for all your support. I would like to shake Darkfire's hand. Well, Darkfire's not here at the moment, so the only hands that Darkfire might be shaking are the hands that he might be after he's washing his hands as he shakes his hands off. But so, Prince Charles, you have any final words for anything? I mean, so basically, this is just a match. Not even thinking too hard about this, not worried at all about this guy who basically.
The only thing I'm concerned about is that he wants to prove a point because he is back, but I'm the worst person to try to prove a point on lately.
Yeah.
And Prince Charles, best of luck to you, kid, but this is going to just give me another singles victory. Oh, and you mentioned the anniversary show. I'm saying it right now. I'm going after the All Out Championship.
You're going after the All Out Champ, so you want to be double Crenson? You want to be Crenson 2 belts? You know, I hear D'Angelo the Flames, D'Angelo 2 belts. Sean Jovi's America's champion. He's got America's gold, and now you are the man that all of a sudden wants to be Crenson 2 belts?
No, not just Crenson 2 belts. It's a little bit more than that. I said earlier this year that I would go and get gold this year, that I would do my best to
Yes,
get
you
as
did
much
say
gold
that a
as
few months ago.
possible.
You talked about this was going to be a different year. And I mean, so far, I mean, you got gold right now in one promotion.
And I am going to get the All Out Championship. By the end of the year, I will be All Out Championship contender, but also champion. And that is why I am going to call my shot now and say I'm going after the All Out Championship at the 3rd anniversary, because this is the era of Crimson now when it comes to WCE, and I'm coming after that title because, one, it just feels like another thing I can poke Mr. Craven Rage with.
Well, right now
because
we know it's Brightside and Marshall in a rematch. I mean, we know
yeah,
that.
we still got that, but I also want to see just how Mr. Sinister Craven Rage reacts when somebody that he despises.
Well, it seems like Craven Rage is on a downward spiral, to quote Nine Inch Nails. I mean, he certainly seems like these days, you know, you obviously got the upper hand on him. Jovi got the upper hand on him. I mean, it seems like, I mean, he really isn't the ruler of the yard anymore. I mean, I don't want to say what kind of territory he's in. He's going to be here in a few minutes, but I mean, the facts are is that, I mean, you still got to get past Mr. Brightside or Marshall, and you've got a lot of history with Marshall. You got a lot of history there. We saw what Brightside did to Marshall. I mean, that's going to be a big question. That was a great match those guys had. They tore the roof off at what we saw at Vindication, and Marshall's going to have a lot to prove, and he's going to look to take that championship away from Brightside.
Whether it's Brightside, whether it's Marshall, whether it's whoever has the belt by the anniversary, I'm coming after them for it.
Well, you know what? You know, last year, I want to say this before we let Craven come on here in a few minutes.
Wait. And maybe once I have it, I can give it an upgrade so it doesn't look so gaudy.
Well, what do you mean? Wait, if it looks gaudy, why would you want to give it an upgrade? If it's gaudy, doesn't that usually mean it's gaudy is a good thing? I always heard as a kid, if it was something was gaudy.
Gaudy? Was it gaudy or was it
Gaudy was always a good thing. I remember, like, if somebody had something that was impressive to show up, it was gaudy. Whether it was jewelry, whether it was merchandise, whether it was clothing. You know, so you might want to change it into your own style. I mean, you're nonchalant. Maybe you want to nonchalantly change the look of the WCE champion, but you got to get there first. Because listen, last year, for the better part of that calendar year, and in 2022 at the same time, it was almost like Nicholas Crenton. He's never going to win the big one. We were talking about sports teams that hadn't been in the playoffs, all these different things, and you being compared to that. Then you get back on top. Yes, you win the RCW title, big thing. But you're back. You've got gold. It definitely took you, thankfully, from your vantage point, I think for most of the people's vantage points, a lot quicker than 17 years to win gold. Because I don't know if you'd be in this sport in 17 years from now, wrestling, as much as you are. With all due respect, that would be a lot on you. But now that you're back on top, you seem like now you've got different sides. You're no longer just, I've got a belt, and not I want to say you weren't happy to be there, but you've got a real title. You got a title from a company that sells out shows, that gets hundreds and hundreds of people to pay to watch you perform. And you certainly want to add to that and everything else in between.
Yeah, and you mentioned this belt, maybe at the anniversary, I'll do double duty.
Really? So you'll do double duty?
Because
can you handle that?
I can't defend that.
Can you handle it, though?
I've done double duty before. I've done triple duty. I don't mind it.
But you've been doing hardcore matches in the IMF lately. It's different. It wasn't like just before in WCE doing double duty. Now you've been dealing with Ox McCoy for months. You've been dealing with Ulrich the Viking. This is a different dynamic. Very different dynamic.
Yes, it is. It is a very different dynamic, but I love to challenge myself, Tom.
Well, I will tell you what you are doing a good job on actually in double duty. You'll actually be shocked. You've been doing a good job on the ring introduction. So if you want to talk about double duty, I would say the ring introductions are a future career for you. So 17 years from now, maybe you can go into the business of ring introductions. I'm sure when the IMF guys continue their run in venues, whether it's in Palo, Community Center, or wherever else what's the show they did in the bar at the beginning, at the end of last year. Yes, correct. Yes, Winter Clash. But yet the venue itself, I knew it was Winter Clash. But the point is that we'll certainly find out. I mean, you've definitely been on a good run. You've definitely got some big wins. You've got gold again. You're on top. You've got Darkfire as a tag team partner. We know the history between you and him, and you're back. And I guess all is well in the former Church of Corentin. And you guess maybe you're not a new Messiah anymore, but maybe you can go about things more nonchalantly before we get to closing thoughts and such.
Well, I kind of still like to hang on to old monikers, so you could still say that I'm the new Messiah. I'm still the Psycho Wolf, but here's the thing: I'm a little bit more relaxed these days, Tom.
Well, you should definitely be relaxed. You should definitely be relaxed.
And Ox, I see your comment, and I thank you, good sir. And I'm glad that after that fight we had, I did earn your respect after last Saturday. And I do expect your partner to return and want to get his revenge, and I welcome that when he does. But I'm also going to say this: if sometime in the future, we need to actually do this mano-a-mano. So someday, me and you in the ring, one-on-one.
Well, you know what? We'll certainly find out. Let me get to a few more comments before Craven Rage makes his long-awaited return back to Sportswire Radio. Please support WCE in these links below, WCEheat.com, Facebook at WCE Heat. And let me get to comments before I let you go. So, yes, hi to Darkfire. Darkfire is on assignment. He's certainly he's scouting his opponent coming up at the Ring of Destruction. So he certainly is, I know, busy working hard.
Actually,
just go with it. James Taylor won't show up. Crenton, he won't show up to deal with Jason Storm. So what makes you think he'll do anything to you? I don't.
What about James? Why?
I don't know. Who knows what it is? Ring of Destruction 2024 coming soon. Let's go. LaFlame is called Two Belt LaFlame. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. You know what it was? When you're on the fly, it'll call him Two Belt LaFlame. Sounds good to me. I'm going with it. You can go with it. And I think he did say that. And he also said a few other things in the promo I caught. ROEW was mentioned, Foundation, and we'll go back with that when LaFlame is here. I see James Taylor's talking to Big Man Cam because James Taylor hasn't shown up to the ROEW arena yet. The double does what the F he wants. So Hillbilly Tilly, I think, is with Soldier. Two Belt LaFlame. Yes, Two Belt LaFlame. Thank you very much. Two Belt. Yes, I get it. We're all repeating Two Belt LaFlame. Yes, he is Two Belt LaFlame. He is the real raw energy of wrestling. He is definitely a man that a lot of people, we love him on Sportswire, and anything he wants to say and call himself, we'll go with it. We definitely talked about this. Ox he's respecting you now. Explain. I don't know I think he's talking about James. And yes, I was once upon a time a participant who tried out for Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. So yes, I can certainly flex my wide knowledge of music because I have a lot of knowledge in those things. And D'Angelo seems to be enjoying my humor. Thank you for that. We love D'Angelo. We love Tilly. He shared the show on X, gets us more people out there. If you are on YouTube, hit the sub button for WCE. Hit the sub button for me. I'm one step closer away to 1,000. And if I get to 1,000 subs, that means you control the platform. You can roast me. You can come on here and do whatever you want. You get control. Get me there. I know I'm going to get there, but I really want to get there before my birthday, which is October 7th. And we're 2.5 months away. So get me one step closer. Tell your friends. Have their friends. Go hit the sub button. Anything else you want to say before Craven Rage makes his return here?
Yes, Tom, and this kind of goes with that, kind of a way of mentioning all wrestling matters. There was a thing that always made me salty around here is that you would have these companies that would do shows and they would bring in the big names because they felt that, and I always feel this way, is when you bring in a big name constantly, you are telling your guys they are not enough.
Right.
And that's, that's just not right. And all wrestling matters is when you put the guys that you build in your company, that come and do the work on the posters, you let them do the work to sell. That's why, why we've had such good shows at Palo is because we got guys like Soldier, Omen, Jovi.
Jason Myers, Jordan Netz,
Ox McCoy.
Yep. Jurek the Viking.
Yeah,
Ace Diamond, how about Freddie Daniels? Freddie Daniels, I mean, he's worked his butt off. You have some great talents.
Freddie,
I think that.
Once he gets away from that scumbag Ace Diamond.
Well, I can't go that far in saying that.
I'm going to say this. Once Freddie gets away from Ace Diamond, and I'm going to guarantee this, that in the next 2 to 3 years, maybe 4 years, Freddie Daniels, he might be IMF world champion. He might be the All Wrestling Matters world champion. Freddie Daniels is, right now to me, one of the fastest rising stars in not just IMF and all wrestling right now, because he's got this hunger and creative mind.
He's got a charisma. He's got a certain jazz to him. There's no question from House of Wolves to where he was then to where he is now, that in 9 months from now, you could be looking at him. Yes, in a way, you might look at a D'Angelo the Flame. You might have looked at an Anthony Steele or a Jack Delta or an Aaron Blaze. There's no question, if he wants to do it and he's got the drive, he can go really far and go to some big places. I completely agree with you. And I think Freddie is a guy that actually a lot of people talk to me about Freddie a lot. And I think very highly of him off the air.
And here's the other thing. And yeah, Freddie made that, comment, and, who cares about it? I'm not one to gripe on those types of things, but Freddie is still young.
Yep.
He's just getting started. Imagine where he will be when he is my age, when he is Soldier's age, when he's Taft Taylor's age. Like, imagine just how good of a career he will have by that point.
Good points. Listen, I think that Freddie's definitely, we love having him here every month when the boys are here. I know you're going to be here in a couple of weeks. We're going to be here in 3 weeks from Thursday. We have an IMF show ahead. Justin Parsley and Soldier, I believe, are the main event, right? Justin Parsley and Soldier is the main event for that. I second that about Freddie. Jordan Netz, yes, and Jordan Netz has already been a world champion. James Taylor did not like the age reference you made by him. He was joking. But because James is really only 20. James is just 20. Just want to let you know, James is 20. And yes, that's What's My Age Again. That's Blink-182. That's What's My Age Again. What's My Age Again. Can you believe it that Travis Barker was once married to Shanna Moliker, and now he's married to a Kardashian? That will certainly what playing the drums for a pretty successful rock and roll band will do for you, because he's definitely had quite the life. But that's a different conversation. You're going to get me to 1,000.
You want to get into a rock, like old rock bands like that? I just thought of like a couple from back in the day, like Real Big Fish, Sublime, 311.
311 still around. Sublime, yep. Unfortunately, sad story. Here in New York, we had a rock station, K-Rock, and Sublime used to be played like every few hours. But 311 still around. But I might need 911 coming up here shortly. But I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what happens here at Ring of Destruction. I know you got a big match here with Prince Charles. You seem like you got what you wanted to say out from that. I know we're going to see you here with the IMF boys in 3 weeks from now. Congratulations on gold once again. It's good to see you with gold. Good to see you doing well. We'll certainly give you a pass with what happened with you and Anthony, because you got hardcore gold and you beat Ox McCoy. And I know Ox kind of tipped his cap to you as well. And I'm looking forward to seeing the fallout from Ring of Destruction 3. And yes, Hootie and the Blowfish, I think, had the most successful debut album of any group in the 90s, right? With the most successful album, I think, right? The most in the 90s. I think they might even have the most successful selling album of the 90s. I think it's them and Shania Twain and Metallica. But Brightside is a dead man laughing. He might be a dead man laughing, figuratively and literally. But I got to let you run. I got to let the man that's been waiting the whole evening so far. And we'll definitely see you in a couple of weeks. Congratulations on the win, my friend. And thank you for all you've done for us these past 2 years. And looking forward to seeing what the future has for you. And we'll see you soon, my man.
Peace.
All right, that was Nicholas Crenson, who is one half of the IMF Hardcore Tag Team Champions. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice, figuratively and literally, where all wrestling matters. And We are about to bring on what probably the world and the backyard and the underground wrestling circuit has been waiting for. So we're about to bring him on. He is no stranger to this platform. He has been biding his time this whole evening, and it is now his time to speak as we get ready for Ring of Destruction 3. We are talking about the former interstate champion, also former all-out champion, the man that held that championship for well over a year, and some have called him the ruler of the yard, the backyard nightmare, the man that certainly a lot of people definitely have nightmares of regardless. Craven, Rage, or Sinister, whatever you want to call him at this point, he is here. He is making his return after a 2-month absence. And how are you out there, my friend? And tell us what is going on for those that are listening and watching on Sportswire Radio in prime time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the only platform where all wrestling matters.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, Tom, the hottest #1 host in America on the sports. Thank you for having the Sinister on your platform.
Yes, it's good to see you. Good to see you back. Yes, we see you here. Yes, so tell us what's on your mind. Tell us what is going on going into Ring of Destruction.
Ring of Destruction took place. There was a lot of things happened, a lot of changes happened. But I'm going to tell the world right now, I truly respect Sean Jovi.
Right, okay.
You know, just because he is the resident rock star of America, and I respect him for everything he's done, all the accomplishments he has done.
Yep.
And yes, I did take my counterpart took his interstate title away from him. He got it back. Congratulations, Sean, on that. Congratulations on all your accomplishments. But there's one guy I truly don't respect. You just had him on, and that is the nonchalant Nicholas Crimson, because, yeah, he's got gold. He may be a hardcore now. But the problem is, Nicholas Crimson is just built like a 9-month pregnant soccer mom. But he is not all out, and he's definitely don't go hard in the paint. He talked about Jonathan Pierce as one of the hardest hitters in this business.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did say that. Yes.
Of course, he's one of the hard hitters in this business.
Correct.
Does he hit harder than Soldier? I disagree. Does he hit harder than Omen? I disagree.
Oh, boy. A lot of people would be curious your answer on that, especially what people know about the history these past 17 or 18 months between, or lack of history between you and Omen Black. Sure.
Yeah, I'm not afraid of Omen one bit, and I'm waiting. I definitely want the opportunity to face Omen.
When will that be, actually, though? When do we expect that opportunity to come?
Well, hopefully in October at our last show. You know.
Has he contractually been obligated, or has he agreed to show up to October?
If he show up, he show up, you know.
Today is July. I mean, I don't even know what's going to happen tomorrow, let alone in October.
But if he show up, he show up. But the anniversary show is coming up, and there's going to be a lot of stuff happening. And Nicholas Crimson, I heard you say you want the all-out championship.
Yes, he did talk about the all-out championship, oddly enough, which is bizarre.
But see, the thing is, though, is he truly ready? Because everybody knows what's going to happen. He's going to choke, and he's not going to get it, because there's one person he cannot never.
I think your camera just changed angles. I mean, I know the excitement's in building with anticipation.
There's one thing he could never do.
Yes, tell us.
He can never beat James Marshall.
Yes, we certainly we mentioned briefly James Marshall and Mr. Brightside. Yes, they are facing off at Ring of Destruction 3, and we know that James Marshall has had the number of Nicholas Crimson. Yes,
and the outcome is going to be the same, because it's a repeat history. But me, I can just walk in and just beat both of those guys if I wanted to because I'm that good, you know. And
You would beat them, yes. Okay.
but the thing is, Nicholas Crimson, you want the all-out championship.
Yeah.
If you want it, come and
What?
get it.
But that possession though. But see, I got you. But that possession, from what I remembered at Vindication, was the property of, I guess, the man that used to be Kodak Kid, but is Mr. Brightside. So did you go Mr. Brownstone on him and have an appetite for destruction and have your own ring of destruction? So correct me if I'm wrong. The card that we just listed had Kodak Kid or Mr. Brightside and James Marshall. So what happened that you have possession of this title? Have you been maybe lent it by Mr. Brightside? Did he give you the championship to show off or speak on his behalf? Or I'd be
Oh
curious
no,
on the audience
everybody,
there. I mean,
bro, it's just
seriously,
it's
no,
just
I'm
simple.
actually wondering because the last we left off, I mean, Mr. Brightside had seriously injured James Marshall, and I'm just kind of figuring out, did he let you borrow the championship? Did he say it was okay to speak on his behalf? Because the last I
No,
checked,
I just do what I want, Tom, and just put it
but
like
how did
that.
that happen, though? I'm curious for the audience because, Ring of Destruction hasn't been released. That would be like going to the movies and somebody saying what happened before the movie even started or the movie was released. So I'm trying to understand what is going on here that you would tell
Because
the world that you have Mr.
the thing
Brightside.
is, though, I just take anything I want.
Okay, but how did you do that? Because he had the title when we last left off at Vindication.
Yeah, he had the title at the time, and Ring of
Right?
Destruction happened, and just say it's a li- not a little spoiler alert, but something happened that took
So he
place.
basically said you could go and speak on his behalf, and you, as Sinister, you like what some of the things he's done with his character, and maybe you took some notes, maybe you wanted to compare and contrast, and maybe you said, you know what, that's actually pretty good, and maybe I could work with you, maybe we could work together, and I could speak on your behalf because the Mr. Brightside character really doesn't have much of a bright side really to speak. So, I mean, that makes a lot of sense to me, but you don't really have anything advertised as to how you won this championship. So I'm still, for the audience, help me understand because there's nothing advertised here.
Yeah, because the only reason why I was never advertised because that stupid people don't know how to put shit up.
But I can't help or control how people put things up. I mean, that's a question you'd have to go and ask. Well, the company that you work for, you would have to ask those
Well,
who put up the shows. But usually companies come on here and they kind of tell us, well, who's going to wrestle and who's going to compete. And then afterwards, after the match has been released, we might talk about the outcome of this. But this seems rather, this seems rather bizarre. I don't want to say it's foolish. It just comes across to me as if it doesn't make any sense. I'm trying to be as objective and fair as I can be here, but help me understand this, even for the audience out there. Mr. Brightside was the champion. I could put the tape up. I'll put the footage up
yeah, he
here.
was a champion. He's currently the WCE All Out champion.
Yes, so you've obviously been lent the title to speak on his behalf, and I think I
He
guess
did.
that sort of makes sense, but this doesn't make
So
sense.
a Ring of Destruction,
Yes, which hasn't been released yet. It hasn't. We've talked
you
already.
know,
Yes,
this title that
correct.
Nicholas Crimson wants,
Yes.
he's definitely gonna have to work for it.
Right. And anybody would
So,
have to work for it, but just like you would have to work for it because you were in a
but the
match with
thing
Nicholas
is, though, I
Crimson.
don't have to work for this title, Tom. The thing is, though, this title will be coming home to me.
I'm here. Sorry about that. You were saying, go ahead.
This title will be coming home to me.
But how so? You're not advertised in it.
because I'm gonna just say management is gonna give me a title shot at Ring
So
of Destruction.
so let me get this straight. Okay, so I'm gonna play along with this, and I know there's a lot of comments here because people are just trying to figure out what is going on here. So you mean to tell me that you with management are going to put this championship on you? But again, I'll put the footage up. I'll even put up your YouTube link, which I want people to actually go out and support WC. Definitely please go hit the sub buttons for WC. You can do that here, and we're watching this match, and I unfortunately pushed the wrong button. But what I meant to say is you want to go back right here, and you want to hit the sub button. That's WC. But also the match here that these guys had between Catalyst and Mr. Brightside.
Yep,
And
the match. He's still the WC champion for right now.
Exactly. He's still the WCE champion. That's why
But see, since Mr. Brightside can't be here, somebody else have to speak for him.
Yes, you're speaking for him, which I would make a lot of sense that you would speak for him, but he's the one with the championship. He's still recognized as your champion. That would almost be like if, again, a movie's released or somebody's going to watch something and you don't know the outcome of the winner.
Championship right here that Nicholas Crimson wants.
Yes, he wants it. Yes, and you want to present that.
He will have to go through me to get this.
Okay, he wants to go through you. He can't go through you anyway because he's got Prince Charles breaking news, and there isn't anything that's advertised for you being his champion. It almost sounds like that I don't know if you're insulting the audience, the intelligence of the audience here, but this comes across a little bit, I don't want to say bizarre, but it does come across bizarre because you've got a championship that you haven't won, but you're almost telling the people in a way, though, don't you think, to not watch Ring of Destruction if you're going to tell people that you're the champion? Are you telling...
I'm not the champion yet, but I will be champion.
You basically held the championship belt, though, for an audience here watching, though. Are you not telling the audience to not watch your show to see what unfolds?
I want them to tune in to Ring of Destruction because they go see what.
But you're telling them, but nobody comes on this platform. I've been doing this a long time. I really like you. I really do. I have been doing this a long time, and I've never heard somebody come on here, and I've never heard somebody tell me basically to spoil the outcome of what's to happen. Then you want me to watch it. That doesn't make any sense. I mean, I really like you. I don't understand. I'm actually going to break the fourth wall for a second, and I really didn't want to, but now I'm going to do it. You are telling people basically what's going to happen, but you're telling them basically by doing that not to watch, but then you want them to watch. Tell me the logic on that. No, seriously, tell me the logic. How does that make any sense?
Well,
what's the sense? You got to give me an answer. You're live. You come here, and I really like you, but you have to give me an answer here. You got to give me an answer because, like, this isn't. And I'm really, I don't want to do this, but I'm going to do this. You're insulting the intelligence, not only the people that are here in this chat, but you're insulting the fans of WC because you guys have over 600 subscribers. Why would you tell people? No, I got this. Why would you tell people that you're going to be champion? The match hasn't been released, but then you tell people to watch it. No, seriously. You watch these shows. Come on, dude. You watch these shows. Have you ever seen somebody come on here of a Fed and tell the audience or the people here what the outcome is? It doesn't make sense. It just like it didn't make sense months ago when you had the goofy cash in with Mark Packer. That didn't make any sense. No, make this make sense for me. Make this make sense.
I'm actually curious how to make it make sense myself. So, Craven, you have the floor. Explain to us how this makes sense.
He left the stream. He left the stream. I mean, hello. I mean, you left. If it's a technical difficulty, that's fine.
I don't know what it is, but I mean, he did literally just spoil the main event.
I mean, you can't come. Listen, I like Craven Rage personally, but
I love him too.
You can't come on here and spoil an outcome of a match and then expect people to. And I think I was being very kind on him.
Oh,
you
yeah,
can't
absolutely.
come on here. You cannot come on
that's
here
a big
and tell
no.
this is embarrassing. No, seriously. This is absolutely embarrassing. You can't come on here and tell people what the outcome of a match was and then expect people to watch it, and then you have nothing advertised. And your advertised champion, first of all, is not here. Your advertised match has nothing to do with Craven Rage. I mean, no, make this make sense. Seriously, make this make sense. Because I really like Craven Rage. And he's been here. And he's been supportive. I'm breaking the fourth wall because I think I've been very kind tonight. I think I've been very kind. Talking
Honestly,
WCE.
I think the show is going pretty good until that.
Yeah, I mean, we had a good conversation. Crenson
I thought it was
well
going
tonight.
great.
I'm trying to listen. Make this make sense for me. Help me understand. Anthony Steele, naturally, this is turned into something. And honestly, Craven Rage just walked out on the show. So unless there's a good excuse, which would be technical difficulties, I can respect
his Wi-Fi went out.
Difficulty. If his Wi-Fi went out, I would like him to come back on here respectfully and tell me the logic of what I just saw. Anthony, I know you're the most controversial figure in backyard and underground wrestling history. I got all that. But you've watched a lot of these shows, right? The last 2 years, right? You've been watching them. I've been doing this a long time. Have you ever seen somebody come on, whether you liked the company or not, whether you liked the wrestler or not, ever spoil the outcome of something and then tell the people to watch it?
No.
No. So what was
Flat out no.
What was the logic then to come
what
on
kind
here
that makes no sense.
Dude, he insults people's intelligence. And listen, I was very kind tonight. I was playing along with this. Okay. But then when he's talking here about Nicholas Crenson and there's nothing advertised. You literally just told an audience. And then he talks about management. He talks about management granting him. For most people that really do know that watch this show, he is management. It's his promotion. It's his ring, which again, I'm not knocking him for this. He can do whatever he wants. He's an American.
He has his own little island. I mean, he can just hang out on the
here and then
it's the island of irrelevancy.
Well,
you said it, not me.
Well, but seriously, you come here and you expect the people to actually buy this, and then what? We're going to play along, and then you're going to constantly talk to me all the time like in the third person? It didn't work for Bob Dole 30 years ago. It's not going to work here, buddy. I mean, seriously, I like you, and I'm trying to be as very kind as I can right now. I'm trying to be as non-stern as I can be because this guy's been here. He's been supportive. I mean,
I don't know,
Black,
man.
it's your show. Help me understand what just happened here. Help me understand how somebody comes on here and basically tells me what's going to happen without any rhyme or reason for it not to be released. And then a simple question was asked, how does this make sense? Not here.
I got 2 words for that. Dummy. Yeah.
You're here. I didn't expect you to be here, to tell you the truth. I mean, Anthony's always here. I mean, and as Anthony's here, James is coming on next. I just want
to say one thing.
He's here now. Actually, let's bring the floor. He's here. MJ is here. MJ, you are here. How are you, sir? That's why I want to give you the benefit of the doubt. What happened here? Because you just told an audience basically not to watch the spoiler of that match. So what's going on?
All right. I'm here today speaking on behalf of WCE. I'm sorry about what happened earlier with Mr. Senator, Craig Rage.
Oh, gotcha. All right, I want to hear this.
Unfortunately, what happened, he ended up stealing the WCE All-Out Championship.
Okay, well, I did kind of talk about the fact that Brightside was the champion and he held the title. Okay, all right, go ahead. What else you got?
So he stole the title right now. He got it hostage. He's holding it pretty much.
Okay, he's held it.
Yeah.
He's holding the title. Okay, so
Oh my God!
I'm gonna play along with this. So, what can we expect after this? Let me play along with this logic.
It's under investigation right now. How did he steal this title? And we're waiting on how he actually took it.
Uh-huh.
And we're going to actually get it back from him
Okay.
and hopefully return it back to the rightful owner.
Right.
What's going on?
Swipe or no swiping.
That's
Hey, it's my
Tinder.
favorite
That's
general manager of
Tinder.
all time
Anthony,
for
you're not on
WCE.
Tinder. You're not on Tinder, Anthony. But
Yeah,
yeah,
Anthony, you're not on Tinder.
so you're telling
That's
me
Anthony
that
Stell. That is Anthony
Swipe or
Stell
no
right there.
swiping.
Yeah, Anthony the Stell.
That's
Because
the
I
real
can't-
deal Anthony Stell.
Because I can't spell.
Anthony, I'm sure hopefully for your sake, you haven't been to the Playboy Mansion, but I'll come back to that another time. But okay, so let me play along with this.
Dude, that'd be fucking lit. Y'all want to go to the Playboy Mansion with me?
Yeah.
Bro, I'm gonna
Right
get
now,
those
Anthony, I'm in the middle of something here. This is more important to me than anything else.
Oh,
let
hell
me get to the let me try to get to the bottom. Let me play my mediator role in real life. Nicholas Crenson, I'm going to bring you back. You're on here next. Okay. So you've got this whole situation. You're telling me that Sinister stole the championship from Mr. Brightside, but then
Sounds
you
like
also
that
mentioned
kleptomaniac.
something that you would have possession of this championship, and that you also mentioned that when this airs, you'll see it. So what? It still doesn't make any sense to me. I'm not following.
Well, Ring of Destruction, when it airs, everybody's going to see the results of all the matches
I would think so, and we don't want to spoil that for the people
and stuff like that. So,
we want people to
but
watch that. Correct.
for right now, that's what ended up happening from Vindication was, unfortunately, somehow Sinister stole this damn title.
But why would he come on here and say that he did that?
But when Vindication ended, though, I didn't see.
All right, wait.
Sinister
So
take
who's the
title.
champ? Who's the champ?
Currently, right now, the champ.
The champ. Who's the champ?
Brightside. Mr. Brightside is currently
That's
the
what
champ.
I've been saying.
He's not very good champ if somebody else has his fucking belt.
No, I got this. Did anybody in the chat, did anybody listening right now on this screen, did I not say over and over that Brightside was the champion? Raise your hand.
My hands rose, but you can't see it. But yeah.
Thank you, Omen. I appreciate you. But
yes, Mr. Brightside is champion right now.
Okay. All right. That's so. But you came on here with possession as Sinister with his championship and told us basically that you would see a new champion, but there's nothing advertised on the card, and that's what I'm still not following. And yes, Anthony, I see you, Anthony. Think of this like I'm the teacher right now, and I will let you as a student get your hand raised.
Down.
Anthony, let my MJ speak. You'll get the floor. Let him speak first. I got you. Anthony. You get the floor all night.
Yeah.
So that is what's going on. I don't know what the hell Sinister's up to, what he's doing. I don't know why he came on saying he's the champion. He's not the champion. Mr. Brightside is the champion. Ring of Destruction is take place. So please, anybody just tune into it and see what happens to the results of that.
Well, that was the purpose of tonight, though. There was no reason to really go with that, though. We could have came on, whoever it was in Sinister, to talk about what they were up to. The logic didn't make sense. Nicholas, go ahead. I'm going to let you.
The one thing you said, he's holding the belt. Is he holding the belt hostage, MJ?
Yes.
Oh, great! I hate to see what.
I got one question for MJ.
Yes.
Since you're non-biased, because Craven Rage ain't here, is Craven Rage afraid of me? I want a full answer.
Stop.
Honestly, I think Craven Rage is afraid of everybody.
Someone clip that.
Roll it. Roll the clip.
Roll the clip.
Roll the clip.
Clip that.
Well, I can't roll the clip.
We're
live. After we're live, I can roll the clip. Right now, we're live. So,
all right. So I'm about to bring back something.
But
I'm about to bring back something for you.
If you want to face Craven Rage, you can definitely, please come and beat the living hell out of his ass.
No, I'm good. He doesn't even know if he's champion or not. So
he doesn't know whether to stay on the island or leave the island.
I thought we got rid of
Oh,
the.
this is confusing.
I don't know. Where's Omen's face? Like, James Marshall wants the link.
Where
Let
is
me
your
send
face?
James Marshall the link. We're gonna bring James Marshall on here.
Is he gonna
So
talk?
this is
Yeah.
Is he gonna talk?
You better talk because I'm really losing patience right now because this is not. This doesn't make any sense. Make this make sense. This is like the Twilight Zone here.
Hey, Tom.
Yes,
Tom,
sir.
can I bring back something to Sportswire?
What are you bringing?
SpongeBob reference. Spoiled it. Spoiled it. Spoiled it. Spoiled it. Spoiled it.
You know what I want to bring to Sportswire?
Fozzie. Let me see Fozzie.
What? James,
He's probably hiding under my couch right now.
What? No, this what James. This deserves ROBW owner. This deserves a what? Because this whole last 30 minutes for me, 20 minutes has been what?
Let's hear it, James. What?
Come on. Oh God!
You're gonna talk for me, so here's how it goes. You don't spoil a show. You want to promote the show. You want to promote the product. I do it all the time on Instagram. I do it on YouTube.
That's not what we fucking asked for. We asked for a what?
And when Anthony speaks, you hear nothing but crap.
Let my owner speak.
I can't go.
I was asked to come here, Mr. MJ. I've tried working with you a little bit on the side to help you with your promos and such, but you need to know the difference between being in character and out of character. That's something some guys struggle with, and some people just live vicariously through themselves, and it is what it is. But you doing what you just did, probably not knowing that you did it, not realizing what you just did.
Somebody's on echo. Please echo.
You doing what you just did.
Okay, that sounds
James Marshall. I'll bring Marshall back on when in a minute. Go ahead.
What you just did.
Somebody.
Okay, that sounds
James Marshall. I'll bring Marshall back on when.
Lots of echo.
Go ahead. I have to unmute you. I have to mute you, James.
Okay. All right. So, but doing what you did, you got to be careful with what you're saying and what you're wanting to do. I mean, you're trying to sell your character to all these guys in here. You're trying to sell your character to all the people that watch Sportswire, that watch WCE. You just gotta.
James Marshall, you have to stay on mute. I will bring you back on here individually.
Thank you. Appreciate it. You just got to know exactly what you're doing before you do it. You know, if you have to make yourself, some guys can't memorize, some guys can't just think off the top of their head. Some guys got to have a script right in front of them. If you have to, dude, make a script, put it right in front of you.
Some write it on the wrist. Some write it on the wrist.
You can do that, yeah, like The Rock did. I mean, it don't matter. Just get you a script if that will help, and make sure you make it to where it's legible for you to just read and be yourself. Yeah, you can eat it after you're done.
Maybe you need a mouthpiece. Maybe you need somebody like a Paul Heyman to come on and represent you. That would, I think, turn things around because
Silverwolf. Hire Silverwolf.
No, please, seriously, they don't need Silverwolf. But the point is that you might need a mouth. It's okay to have somebody. Listen, Ace Diamond doesn't. I will let James Marshall speak in a second. I do want to get a chance to speak, but you can. There's an Ace Diamond is out there. He does a lot of things speaking for his guys. Freddie Daniels, Mephisto when he was there, Isaiah Rage. That's okay. That's not the end of the world. Justin Parsley spoke for Felix Jones a little bit. Maybe that's something that you could use because in the ring you obviously have some skills. I think there is some level of talent there. There's a level of drive. I like you personally. I don't think people don't want to see you succeed and fail, but I think maybe that would help because you can't come here and give me this you got an audience, dude, and a community that's different from 2 years ago, different from a year and a half ago. They're not going to come here. You're going to insult their intelligence, whether I know you didn't mean to do that. And I'm being very diplomatic, very kind, because I do like you personally. You're a faith-loving man. You're a husband. You're a hard worker. You're a good person. And this is why I'm not going out there and doing what we've did to other guys that deserve to be executed, like Jonathan Pierce, figuratively and literally on this platform. You do not deserve that. And I want to say that maybe you need a mouthpiece. Maybe that would help. So you can go focus on the ring and being a character that could go out and do things because you can't come here and give me this mumbo jumbo. You can't with this audience. You can't. These guys are they're gonna put the knives out there for you. And I'm actually saying this very nicely because I want WCE to succeed. I would like to see every company succeed. I'm all wrestling matters. So for me, it would be just like Fletch, right? Fletch is a guy that honestly, I like XCW, but he's a bad guy outside of, like he as a businessman, he's a bad guy. I really feel so sorry for him and his father passing away, but he's a bad guy. Now, guys are coming here because I'm doing the right thing. I'm extending an olive branch, but he's a bad guy because he does things in a way that I don't like personally, but I like the fact that guys from XCW want to be here. And I'm going to extend an olive branch, even though that guy, to be honest, he doesn't appreciate it. His locker room does, but he does not appreciate it. I'm deeply sorry about what he's going through. I love the fact that he's feeded and bathed and clothed guys like Law and helped guys like Big Man Cam, but I do not like the way he's conducted himself in the community, and he got torched for it on social media. And he's going to get torched for it because there are guys that come here and guys that go there, but I'm doing the right thing. I'm doing the simple thing and putting people over politics. I'm going out and saying, you want to be here? I want you here. But I don't like how that person, and I like you personally, so I don't want it to be that way. So I will let James speak. I know James is dying. Marshall will have a few minutes. But I just want to say that maybe you need to evaluate those things because it's okay. It's really because I really like you. I don't want you to fail because I think you put your heart in it. You're a good man. You're a good husband. You're a good, community man. You have a job. You're hardworking. You love this sport. You want to be here. I see the commentary. I see Copper Dragon talks to you. James talks to you. Most people like you outside of this. So maybe that is something to get somebody that could speak for. I don't know what that might be, but that would really help. I mean, look, James Marshall's a phenomenal wrestler. He's not here a lot because he knows it's okay. There are guys that honestly are great wrestlers but can't talk. It's okay to be not okay. I think what have we learned in the world these days? It's okay not to be okay. It's okay to ask for help. Not to be like Silverwolf, not to be like Loose Cannon, and like that. And I don't want you to. I know you're not that way, but like this was like mumbo jumbo, and I think that I did the right thing in not blasting you in a way because I was trying to add, I was trying to help you. I was trying to give you the line. I was trying to give you that rafter because I do appreciate you. So that would be my advice. James, I want to give you the floor. Marshall.
Hear me okay?
I'm going to let you speak. I'll mute everybody and we'll see how it goes.
How about now? We good?
Nobody can speak, but yeah. I'm gonna.
Okay. Well, Brightside had the belt back before Reign of Destruction. That's why I'm asking MJ. Because I really want to take that belt off him. Because you see how he handled Catalyst? Left him for dead. Practically. Can you see me all right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Well, Brightside had the belt back by Reign of Destruction.
Yeah, he will.
Because it's gonna be bittersweet taking that belt off him.
He definitely will have the belt back.
Hold you to it, because I love you, MJ. I love you. Okay, as a referee and as a backstage stool pigeon or whatever. But come on. You gotta have Sinister, wherever the hell he wants to go by nowadays. Do what he did, stealing belts, title himself as champion.
No, he's gonna. We getting that belt back and putting it back on Mr. Brightside before Ring of Destruction.
Because
so you get your hands on it.
Okay, because Sinister caused all this. Because now you got Crenson Hunt back on here, Joby Hunt back on here. Omen, Anthony, Soldier, everyone, the who's who of backyard wrestling coming on here because of what the hell Sinister did. Attempting to make put a black eye in this industry.
So
when he did that on Sportswire, I'm livid. I'm still livid. I'm shaking.
Yeah, we definitely gonna.
I'm pissed.
Take care of that.
Not only did he insult me, insult all these people in this room, he also insulted the intelligence of the fans. Like Tom said,
I'm gonna mute you because I'm gonna speak because I see we're waiting for somebody to speak and I'm gonna do it. Listen, you can't. This was not acceptable tonight. I'm gonna be honest. I expected something stupid, to be completely frank. I expected something rather odd, but this is going to be one that you have to like. This is not acceptable tonight. Like, I really like you, MJ.
Yeah,
but this was like I don't want to say it's Montreal like, but this is like to not at that level because it's not a millions of dollars worth of a championship. But you can't come on here and try to insult people's intelligence. And I honestly, I mean, there's a lot of things that go on here, right? You know, and this, and I'm gonna tell you why I'm a little bit disappointed because a couple days ago I defended a comment or pushed back on a guy, Anthony Arias, in the Backyard Wrestling Nexus, and he says 80% of our circuit it's all toxic, and he says, oh, backyarders are all the same, everybody's the same, it doesn't matter about skills. So what you did in a way is you fed into what this guy, now again, I like him, his Nexus comes here, I think that he in some ways is hypocritical in certain things, but I appreciate what he's done, I appreciate his collaboration, but he basically came here and he sat here and he shitted on everybody that is trying to go out there and do the right things. And what you kind of did tonight in a way feeds into guys like him and say, yeah, we're all the same. It doesn't matter. I don't watch backyard wrestling. I think we're all toxic. 80% of them are toxic. It doesn't matter. Nobody goes out there. They could put on Copper Dragon to 7-star matches, but it doesn't matter. We all have the same craft. We're not making anywhere. Come on, we're all a joke. He came on here and said those things. And
he clearly doesn't do it for the love of the sport.
I got this because I'm getting hot because what you did in a lot of ways is you fed into those guys, or you fed into the British pro wrestlers who were shitting on guys here months back and talking about backyard wrestling. And I stood up and I basically said, I'm going to stand up for that. We created this thing. And what you did in a lot of ways is you fed into these guys, fed into them, and basically allowed that. Or you feed into guys that say, oh, this all wrestling matters movement in Summer Bash. It's the same politics. They're doing the same things that everybody else does, because what you did in a way is, without knowing it, you basically went into business for yourself without anything being determined. And that's not cool, because what happens is there's, 150, 200 people that watch us on YouTube. And that's great. I appreciate everybody that watches. And it matters to those people because the word travels. So the people that watch these shows, they're in our circuit. They're in our community. So what you did in a way is you basically spat on them. You disrespected them because everybody that's watching this is either a fan of this or they're peers of yours. So when guys say, oh, everybody in this movement or those in this movement, they go into business for themselves, you basically said, yeah, you're absolutely right. And that's what's not cool. That it's not, because you should never go out and do anything and spoil something for people. It's like I brought up the movie outcome. If I go to the movies, right, if I see Twisted or if I see Deadpool, right, I don't want to know the outcome of it. I want to watch it. Even if somebody might have told me beforehand, I wouldn't want to tell those people about it. You know this better than anybody. You have been here for 2+ years. And I asked the guys here, there's never been one instance that I could think of that somebody spoiled an outcome. And you basically did that. And that's really where it's not cool. And then you basically feed into, again, all these guys that say 80% of backyard wrestling is toxic. You go out there and everybody's the same and all these different things. And that's where there's a defense. And that's why these guys are here. These guys aren't here because of all the great things you're doing. They're here because of what you just did. Jovi's here with his poor cat. His poor cat probably wants to be in bed with him right now, probably just wants to get ready for the morning. His poor cat is here because of this. James Marshall is here because it's his company that he works for. He's represented this company. He's busted his tail. He's a phenomenal talent, and he works for you. Nicholas Crenson is here for the same reasons. And the guys that are there that you've brought back in the company, or even the guys that don't work in the company, you've done something to them. And that's not fair. That's not fair to the people. And it's not fair to the people that come here every night. It's not fair. It's not even fair to me because I have continued to say, Craven Rage, let him come here. Craven Rage. Yeah, I'm going to bring him here. I'm going to bring him. And he's not like those other people. And this is worse. This is worse than what a Judgment would do, worse than what a Fletch would do. It's worse than all these different guys would do because you basically like it doesn't make any sense. And I really, to me, I know I'm rambling. I know people want to get into this, but this is not fair. This is unfortunately, and it's live. It's not a podcast where I can go edit the tape. It's unfortunate. So go ahead.
Tom, does it even surprise you when Craven Rage pulls stunts like this?
No, but but spoiling an outcome. This is different because we're spoiling an outcome for something that hasn't been released. And that's the frustrating part because people are here. At the very least, you want to build a story, right? You want to tell a story, right? And this is why, and I want to say something to everybody here and to the people that will eventually watch this or watch whatever clips of this or listening right now. There's one thing that I've always been consistent on. In the past 6 years I'm doing this. And I know every person is going to say, Tom, what you say on the air is off the air. And there's a reason. I always tell people, never tell me the outcome of something. Why? Because I always want to prevent things like this. Because when things like this happen, it hurts everybody. I always tell people want to tell me how I'm going to win and how I'm going to lose. I always tell people, I never want to get in the business of that because what happens is you hurt not only the integrity of yourself, but you hurt the integrity of the people that you're talking to and really the platform that's been built here. And that's why I've always been consistent. I never ask people, I never call people up. I think this person should win, that person will lose because you know what? Then it becomes I'm walking a line or crossing a line that I don't think is right. I don't think I deserve to step in your boundaries and tell you what you should do. Now, it's different if somebody would like a recommendation to go somewhere, and I would certainly recommend because they've come here, I talk to them, I build a relationship, an organic relationship. But this, I can't condone. This is something that I always fight to move away from. And these are reasons why, like even Soldier's here, right? Soldier and I own the PWF, our co-owners. I never asked Soldier once about who wins, who loses, or have an opinion on that. Why? Because it's not my call. It's not my business. I'm not a wrestler. I'm not a promoter. Yes, we do things with Sportswire. Yes, guys say I should get into, but no, I shouldn't because I don't have that ability. I have enough trouble on my own plate that and James, I'll let you go. I'll see you later, James Taylor. This is too important. I got to get this off my chest. The facts is that these are reasons why I prevent these things. And I prevent this for your safety and everybody else's safety. There's a reason that. And I think this is really, I'm disappointed, to tell you the truth. I'm disappointed. You have a lot to work on. You're going to have to go quite on a Will Smith Oprah tour to really, recover from this. Because this is this is just, I'm not happy with this, to be honest. I'm not happy. I'm not happy.
MJ, look.
Yeah,
so when stuff like that happens, three things take place. One, the world watching shits on not only your product. It not only shits on your product, but everyone else that's doing it around you's product.
Yeah, I agree.
For the simple fact,
I want to cut you off because Brandon the Ruiner, show if you're not. You know what? This guy here, I'm going to flag your comment because you can talk about WWE. When do they have spoilers? Tell me when WWE doesn't tape their shows. AEW, you want to go you go talk to Tony Khan about that. You can wake up, there's storylines, but you don't spoil things on the air. If you want to go in your product and watch that, bro, and if you want to continue to comment, put a face to the camera, and you know what? Come on down here. No, come on down, and you tell me that. You tell me that to these guys' face. You tell me that to the people that go out there every single day and go out there and put their butts on the line and put their blood, sweat, and tears. Until you do that, I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to do something that I really shouldn't do. I'm going to flag this guy's comment because until he comes on the screen, until he comes on the screen, he asks for a link and puts a face to the camera. I don't have any reason to entertain that comment, or I don't have any tolerance to entertain somebody to come on here and says, "Oh, well, they're all spoilers." Yeah, but that's nothing to do with you. You go take that up with your own company. This isn't WWE and AEW. You're absolutely right. It's not WWE and AEW, and now you're absolutely not going to be commenting anytime soon at the moment. So you know what? You're in timeout, buddy, because you know what? Until you come here and you message me. No, until you come in here, you message me and you put a face to the camera and tell me that on the screen with all these people, I don't have to entertain you. So you can let me know. I'm at Facebook at Tom Bryce, Instagram at the Sports Report 2021. So you can DM me. I'll give you a link right now, and you're welcome to comment and tell those things to the audience. If you want to conduct yourself in a professional manner, you are more than welcome to say these things on the air. If not, unfortunately for your sake, you're not going to be able to comment because I don't have to entertain your comment. So you can comment here in video with the people. So I'll wait.
So,
go ahead. Now I want to let James Marshall speak. You got 2 minutes. Go ahead, Anthony.
So, as I was saying, that's one. Number two, it shows, and I'm gonna speak this. Shows you as an owner that you can't withstand, like, uphold business like you're supposed to. Because I'm being inducted tomorrow night for the most controversial figure, so I might as well be controversial here. We understand you play a character. You play Craven Rage. Sinister, Craven Rage, fucking doo-hop, dibbity-doo for the fucking week. When you play that character, you have to know what to say and when to say it and how to say it. Because if you fuck up, that means your character, not only just your character, but you look stupid.
Sean Jody, he's got to run. You want to say something real quick?
Well, MJ, Craven, wherever you are, I hope you're learning tonight. Not to spoil things, obviously.
Yeah.
It's definitely going to hurt our viewership. Easy, Fozzie. I know you like. He wants. He's been chewing at my.
Even
Fozzie's like, I want to go to bed, Sean. I want to go to bed. Yeah, I know. All right, but it's one of those things. Spoilers get out and stuff, but to do it on live on air, that's about as no as you get. That's like saying, "Oh yeah, this is what happened." Oh, by the way, I guess you don't have to watch our match because you know what happens. Like,
well, look, I don't want people not to watch WCE. I want people to watch them, but I'm upset that this was not. This should not have been done. Honestly,
it's a lesson. It's a hard lesson learned.
You want to talk about? I fucked up. Sean, I know you got to run. We're going to talk about this, I'm sure, a lot tomorrow with Anthony. Go and get some rest with Fozzie, and thank you for being America's rock star. I'll see you soon.
Absolutely.
So the final thing I want to say, which is the biggest thing, like this is one thing I need you to actually understand when listening to this. You going out and spoiling your own product is going to make companies that work with you a little iffy on working with you. Because if you can do it to your own product, what's to say you ain't going to do it to someone else's product that you're on? Because I get it. People slip up. Life happens. Shit happens. But in the art of professional wrestling, the art of backyard wrestling, underground wrestling, whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to present yourself as, if you're going to sit here and you're going to spoil something, a promoter is going to look at you and be like, all right, so it takes us about 3 to 4 days to edit, and then we usually wait about another day to post. So tally up 5 days. Say a promotion takes about 5 days to fucking post a video. And within that 5 days, someone like you appears spoiling something. You really think they're going to want to work with you and have you on their product? No. Because at that point, that's what we in the industry like to call a liability. Because then at that point, we don't have a show, especially if it's the main event. Dude, the main event is what everyone sits here and tries to watch because they want to see. The main event is always supposed to be the best match on the card. It is 100% supposed to be the best match on the card. And if something surprising happens, that's like looking at That's like main event of WrestleMania 40. Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes. You think anyone would have want to watch that if everyone knew that The Rock was going to come out, Undertaker was going to come out, John Cena was going to come out? You really think people are going to entertain that?
Oh no.
And then at that point, if you were the one that was labeled the guy that spoiled that, you really think that they're going to keep you under contract?
No, they fired. What's that? Dijak? Wasn't Dijak doing that for AEW? And they fired him.
Yep.
Oh, I didn't even know that, but I love Dijak. I
want to let the WCE guys speak on this because it's their company. James, I'm gonna give you the floor. Marshall, I'm gonna mute everybody else. We'll stay silent until you.
Yeah, when I heard what the hell happened, I was livid. Excuse me, I'm getting over like a little throat cold right now.
It's okay.
Yeah, like when I seen all this happen, I was livid, and my second instinct's like, how can we salvage this? And then, cat's out of the bag. But it's a real hard lesson to learn for sure, like Sean said. But I love MJ. I love him to death because we've been working together since WCE started. And what just happened tonight, it makes me really unsure if I want to continue with WCE or not.
Let me let Nicholas.
Yeah, like like Anthony Steele said, spoilers kind of make it where you if you know the outcome, you kind of don't want to watch what happened. But I've also seen areas where they've spoiled stuff constantly and people still watch. So, whatever happens. I am just going to kind of ride this train and see where we go next. I'm honestly just looking towards the next show, and that's my main thing is the next couple shows, because I know one of the big things is that we are planning to do is Black and Blue, which will be the tribute for Tim Mecca.
That's a very important show. Absolutely. We want to continue that. Let me get to what my friend Scorpion the Assassin says. Good evening, all. I must say, spoilers are if a company has that rep of an amazing content, the talent of that roster, people love to see perform. People will still want to tune in. It still sucks, though. Well, I still think it shouldn't be done. I don't think that, like your company, Scorpion, right? Or companies you work for, DBW and VTW, they're not going to spoil their matches. They're not going to spoil their results. Every company that comes on here doesn't tell me who wins beforehand. I specifically don't go into the business of wanting to do that. I want to present something to the people that they would like to be able to see. And I think that that's really the message is that the way, I don't know if you caught the way it was presented, Scorpion. You might want to check on that. It was about an hour or so ago, give or take. And then you might want to see and tell me off the air what you thought about the way it was presented. But it was just not, it didn't make any sense. It did not, the way it was presented, though, with this, it did not make sense. I don't even think you can still make an argument for it if it was in a better way of discussion. But I think the way this was presented tonight and how this came across, there was no logic to it. And we have James Marshall here, who was their last champion, who was at the championship match on their last show. And what also doesn't make sense is that there was no story or match into it. So there's no, like, people talk about Montreal all the time, but people knew Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels were going to wrestle. They knew that the situation was put out there by WWF, that Bret Hart had signed a contract with WCW. So in that particular case, or another example, Jeff Jarrett had signed a contract with WCW and was their Intercontinental Champion. There was none of this here. The advertised champion was Mr. Brightside. He was their champion advertised on their programming. So when we have something that's presented here in a way, and I'm trying to ask the question, well, Mr. Brightside's the champion. Did Mr. Brightside led you the championship? And it was the way it was. But then a term of management came up. Those things don't make sense to the audience. So I think that's where you would probably look at it as yourself, as a veteran. You would say, you know what? Yeah, the way I watched that, it was kind of goofy. It was just not it was not well thought out of. And I don't recommend anybody coming on this platform to tell me a spoiler regardless. And there's hundreds of people that I know in the circuit. So I don't think there's any real reason for it. And thank you, Sean. I wish you were here in a better circumstance. Omen Black is here, but I think that's really what it comes down to.
Sean,
yes,
I got a question for you.
Ask me 100 questions.
Unless you've actually gone to the live event or the event for a taping, I'm guessing you also are the type. You are actually one of those few people that actually avoid reading tapings for like SmackDown when they taped it.
Correct. I always avoided that stuff because I remember as a kid, I had a brother that was always like, I don't want to read the spoilers. Don't tell me who wins. So I have always been a believer in that organic, let it play out. Even, I'm a believer in that.
Honestly, I applaud you for that. I'm actually one who would constantly always look at the spoilers, but I'm also like one of those few people that I'm gonna tune in no matter what. There's not everybody's gonna tune in no matter what.
WCE, I want people to follow If this was the intent to get people to watch WCE, it's I don't know if this is the right approach. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a promoter. I'm not in the business of that, but I don't think tonight the way this came across, this was doomed for failure. This was doomed no matter what to fail. I mean, you couldn't come on here and still tell people or explain to people that I'm the champion, I'm borrowing the title, or when you said management made me the champion, basically. That's not a good excuse. It's not a good... People don't buy that. There's no storyline. There's no linear flow. And I think that's what hurts most. And I think that's the frustrating thing that people saw. And I think people already have an opinion when you come here. And, it's what it is. I mean, it's live. I understand being live is tough. Copper Dragon says sometimes people can't talk live because it's pressure. And I get that. I have some guys that come on here and they're not talkers. James would tell you that. James is a great talent. It's okay. I said it's okay not to be okay. Not everybody has charisma like Omen and Soldier or Justin Parsey or Anthony, Mike Linkney or James Taylor or, guys that come on here, Jack Delta, Aaron Blaze. Not everybody, is like Jake Dvorak.
TJ Black.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we can go Big Man Kim. There's a lot of people that can come on here. Big Cheese, RP Davis, but it's okay to not be okay. You don't have to rush to be here every week or two when you're repeating the same things. It's good to take a step back and improve on those. If somebody here can help you, like if James wants to help you, I think James tells me he likes you personally. Copper likes you. If you have worked with Omen and Soldier, maybe this is a lesson to work with those guys. If they want you to do something or work with them in a Fed or something of some sorts, these guys, and I'm not just sucking up to them. These guys are in live venues. I mean, they go out and get people to watch them, and maybe you have to listen to them. And for the sake of the company, to save the company, you might have to listen to them. And just like if they tell you or, speak, maybe that's the way to go. I don't know. Listen, I have no idea. It's not my business, but I can't allow it to be where you continue to do these things. I mean, this is like, I don't think there's any reason for anybody to spoil it. And I like you personally. I know you're a good man. You're a good husband. You've done a lot. You've been through a lot. And I don't think that it should be where you should be denied to be here. But I think that there are people that want to help you. I don't think this is Silver Wolf. I'm training. Yeah, I'm training. I don't think this is loose cannon. I think you have some abilities in the ring. You have some commitment. You have a ring. I think you have a product that has a following. I think there are people that have watched the content. I think there is no question that there is positives. Jovi, who really is the guy that has kept the company strong. He has been the focal front spokesman. People like him. You have that. Nicholas has certainly done some things. James is a good talent. If you can, get some of these guys to come back. I don't know the business side of it. It's not my right. I have no right to tell you how to run a company. I can only advise you on being here and be here in a productive fashion, because what you did tonight is the reason why I say every single time, I don't care if it's TBW, DBW, XCW, VTW, LBYW, ROBW. I don't care if it's Resurrection. I don't care if it's NEW. I don't care if it's TF Crew. the UWF, Jimmy Controversy's promotion. I don't care if it's CCW in the UK. I don't care if it's any promotion that comes to ALW even with Big Man Camp. I don't care if it's CBW with Law. I don't care if it's Omen and Soldier. I specifically tell people, or it's ESW even. BTW's worked with us recently. Shout out to the BTW boys. They're coming here. Great guys. I don't tell anybody to tell me the results of something. I specifically do that to protect what happens to you, but what happens to me, but most importantly, the people here, because you don't want to lose the credibility. Because
That's true.
You've been a part of something here, and we joke all the time. Yeah, I'm going to get a tattoo. I'm going to get 1,000 subs, and that's great. It's because the people see that they know they can trust being here. They know they're going to get realism. They know that I'm going to do my best to give them a fair shake. They know that I'm going to defend at times when I feel to. When there are things where I feel I have to put my foot down, I'll do it. Is there times that I won't because I think I want to give people a chance? I'll do that. They know that. And that's why every night, last night, 14 people live unannounced. People know that this is the one platform that they have. With all due respect, Nemesis Sessions is not that place. With all due respect, Inside the Ropes is not that place. With all due respect, certainly Shooting with the Saint is not. With all due respect, what does he call himself? Dark Hour, whatever it is. With all due respect, Skulls Talks, C2K, Austin Tyler, and I'm not knocking anybody here. This is the platform that's prime time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage. This is the place that everybody here wants to be. It's for a reason, because I know that I'm going to do my best to present it in the right way, but you can't. You got to learn from this tonight. No, I'm serious. You got to learn from this.
Oh, I have learned from this. Trust me.
I hope. Yeah, I don't know if you have though. How have you learned from it though? Right now, I hope you have. I can't say that you have yet. I don't know. I hope that you listen to these guys. And hang on to them. You got to hang on to them now. You can't play politics in your company and decide that you're going to do this and that. No, I'm serious. Because you got the ring. From my vantage point, you got to be like, if Jovi says something, if Marshall says something, you got to go with it. Because your company's on the line. Because you can't have a company of an Isle of One. You cannot be an Isle of One. You don't want to go that route. So you got to listen to these guys, Crenson. You got to listen to those three. You want to bring in other guys? Bring them in. But you now are in a position that you've got to listen to these guys, and you've got to be democratic. You've got to be open. You've got to be basically like, look, I got to save myself because I have a ring, which is fine. I give you all the credit in the world. You've done a lot of good things. Copper loves you. I think a lot of guys here like you personally. But now, dude, I'm talking for 30 minutes uninterrupted again. Why? I should not be that way. And
I'm definitely gonna listen to whoever. Pretty much.
I really like you. It's just unfortunate here. Yeah, Brandon the Ruiner is here. Yes, Brandon, you're here, but you're not really going to be here because you're in timeout, buddy. So, the point is that, spoiler shock. Yes, and I think that's the point. People have to learn from this. You have to learn from this. Yes, less is more. And you have a good product. And I think people do want to see you grow it. People do want. You have guys that bust their asses for you. James. I don't do enough to praise James. Well, I hear you have him now. I'm going to do my best I can. You have Jovi. You have Crenson. They're here. You have guys that care for you. You guys gotta listen to them. Maybe you shouldn't have the world title. I don't know. Listen, I don't want to go down that road. It's not right for me. I don't want to do that. But you have to now listen to these guys that are keeping you alive. Because these other guys here, other feds, they're not going to come to you if you continue to do this and stay spoiler or make myself the champion and repeat myself for 40 times again. People are watching this. D'Angelo LaFlame's an example of it. D'Angelo LaFlame has traveled because of Sportzwire Radio. I hate to be that way, but I interviewed him 9 months ago, and all of a sudden he went to all these places. Aaron Blaze. Yeah. He brokered peace with a lot of people. Jack Delta worked with a lot of people because he changed the way his outlook on things is because of here. There's a lot of people that I think have been influenced by it. We have a movement because of here. The guys in NEW, they're influenced by it. Tell me every time how much it means to be here. You can't come across this way. Listen, I really like you, and I'm really trying my hardest because you have been here for 2 years. You were the first backyarder to come here. You were the first guy. You reached out. You're a good guy. You've always been intuitive. You have passion. And that's why I think I'm being very kind to you. And I think that, a lot of people look to this place and it's been influenced. Darkron tells me all the time how much there's people. I had a guy comatose said that wrestling saved his life. He listens to this show. It means so much to him. I had a guy, Brett Anderson, who told me that every night his job, he listens to Sportswire. D Savage drives hours a day, tells me he watches Sportswire religiously. I have Aaron Blaze tells me things I can't even repeat on the air. Jack Delta kind of hinted on it. I can keep going. Alan Michaels told me things off the I can't talk about. I have guys that this is what it means, and when you do that, it's just very.
Tyler, you don't gotta say no more. I know I fucked it up. I did something I shouldn't did in the first place. That was not even supposed to happen.
That's strike two. For me, that's strike two. Because you did it to me. You did it to me in my company back in February. When you went in for yourself and took the belt from Jovi. Now you turn around and did it again. That's strike two.
It's not a joke. I mean, it's just a belt, right? A belt is a belt.
Yeah.
And to me, wins and losses don't matter. You don't always have to be the person. If there's other people that deserve a chance, if there's other people that it might help them. Wrestling to me, listen, Scott Hall is one of the greatest wrestlers to ever perform. He was never a world champion. Mr. Perfect was only the AWA champion. God bless his soul. The British Bulldog was never a world champion. God bless his soul. Owen Hart was never a world champion. Bam Bam Bigelow was never a world champion other than the ECW title for a month. Terry Funk was only a world champion 2 times. I mean, there's plenty of guys in wrestling history that weren't a world champion. It doesn't make you. It's like it's the man that makes the belt. Dusty Rhodes only held the world title for a grand total of 105 days. There is not, to me, you don't have to be a world champion. I think this, if somebody warrants it that can help grow the brand, you don't have to make, Craven comes on Sportswire, I'm borrowing the belt, and management makes me the champion. You don't have to do that.
Can I ask a question?
You asked me 100. I asked him 100.
Marshall, did it make sense when he took the belt? Did it make sense? Storyline line.
When I was watching it, it absolutely made no sense.
So he just took it to take it.
He just took it. I was not in on it or anything. It just happened that way. That's why I'm here in the first place.
I mean, obviously it's spoiled. Obviously, Craven Rage is the world champ. So can I ask, how he got the shot at the title, or did he literally copy what he did with Jovi at my show to take the belt off of you guys?
In a way, it was sort of my idea. For storyline wise, we okayed it with everyone. Not to give too much away, too fucking late now.
But the door's already open.
Yeah. But we booked it that way that he gets the belt. And it was actually my idea.
I'm going to mute everybody for a second. I'm going to mute you and I'm going to unmute you. Let me ask you a question on this, because now I really wish, Soldier, you didn't ask that question. But as he said, it is what it is at this point. Did he kind of, in a way, almost exercise his power that he owns the company alongside a certain someone that basically kind of dictated that he would get the world title back? Is that what you're telling me for the audience? I'm going to unmute you.
Not in that way, no. Because we're trying to come up with stories, and this is actually the option we have to line up a story with Sinister and Crenson.
Okay. All right. I mean, if that's what you were going to do, fine. I mean, we'll have to watch it to see. I mean, that's a little better than I think what I could have heard. So that's a little bit more presentable. I could appreciate that answer more, but I just hope you guys move forward. All I can say is that it's done with. You can't change the past. You can only go forward. tonight has to be. We're gonna watch it in a few days, and I'm sure we're gonna talk about this over the weekend. I have no doubt there might be a chat about this, but I think at the end of the day, you have to learn from it and just move on. There's nothing you can do. You can't cut ties. You can't run away from the problem. You have to tackle it head on.
Yeah, I agree. And I usually don't make calls anymore. I truly don't. I literally go to James about any ideas or whatever. Go to Liz, let them make the decisions. That's what I normally do. I go to Sean, I go to whoever, I go to James. Whatever decision.
But what you just pulled here tonight, we didn't actually have any talk about it. That was all on you.
Yeah, that was on me on that one.
And as soon as I learned what was going on, I hopped on here really quickly and tried to somewhat salvage this. But now we're at this point where there's no return. We got to learn from this mistake and try our best to move forward and fix it as best as we can as a company.
Yes. I'll mute you. But yes, because you have to listen. Look, I don't want to get in the business of telling people what to do and what not to do, but this has to be a lesson. I don't know what that might be. I think obviously I will help in any way, shape, or form. If there's anything I can do, I will help you in any way possible. I am very much an open door. And I'm not turning you away. I really don't like to do that from people. I don't think it's the right way in life to go about, but you've got to listen to whoever that might be, whether it's James, whether it's if Soldier and Omen are working with you guys in whatever capacity because of I don't know. I'm just trying to, James Taylor's working with you guys, whatever it is. You can't go into business for yourself like this. You can't, because what it does, you are feeding into what people say. Everybody's the same. It's toxic, all that stuff. You're feeding into that. And that's not fair, because there are a lot of people who really are trying to do good things. They're trying to do the right things out there. And I think it's not fair to people, especially the movement. We put 12 companies together. Everybody tried their best. They had a lot of fun. Jovi and Darkfire and Nicholas represented the company. A lot of, people that I think really care and they want to do something different. And I think that you're doing things to that, and there's movements and things. And I just think that you've got to do something different. I don't know what's to change, and it's stressful. I know for James, he's telling me he's stressed, and I'm sorry that he feels that way, because he's put his time into the company. He's a WCE loyalist, and he's worked hard for you, and he's been in your leadership, and he's stood there and he's sat by you. And, I don't want it to be where WCE is, lampooned. I really don't want any company to be lampooned. I really don't, because I'm not a wrestler. I'm not in this. I don't get in the business of this because.
And I do appreciate everything you are doing for us.
I know. I'm wearing your shirt right now. To be honest, I put your shirt on to try to give you some support, because
I'm definitely going to try to make a big turnaround. I don't care if I
make a turnaround, dude, because this is you can't insult people's.
Can I say something before I go?
Yes, we're going to go in a minute or two. Go ahead.
James Marshall. Now, there's only one reason why I'd come up back to WCE, to be honest. And I've wrestled every single one of you guys except for you. The measuring stick of the WCE. Only reason why I'd come back is for a one-on-one shot against James Marshall. That's it. I'll see you guys later.
Well, if he makes his way up here, yeah, I'm down for it.
Okay, well, look, before I go, I'm going to give you the opportunity, Craven, or MJ, whatever. I don't even know at this point. What do you want to say to you have to say something before we go.
First and foremost, I want to apologize for all the misunderstanding and the actions that transpired during this episode. The tensions that happened was not supposed to happen, not supposed to take prior. I just want everybody to watch Ring of Destruction, watch the Slam Dependence, watch the anniversary show that's coming up August 9th and 10th, and continue following WCE and support us and help us out the best way we can.
Let me get to comments before I give James the last word. Anybody can buy a ring and have gear, etc. But this business is about respect. Supporting great companies can work together when they work against. Yes, I agree with you on that. Yes, I think you and I have spoke about that. We're on the same page. Community service. Yeah, well, it is what it is. I appreciate that, D'Angelo, but you put the work in. It's the figure of speech. Yeah, spoilers are what they are. It's a good product. Yes, you do have a good product, and I think people do want to see you grow it, but you have to represent yourself in a different manner. Umaga's a good one. Chris Masters, Carlito, Shelton Benjamin. There's a lot of great guys who haven't won a world title, and I only had so much time and so many people. Well, DG, it is what it is. What can you do, right? You're going to have to. Well, what happened, Jack Delta, is basically that Craven Rage or Sinister had basically told people that he was, quote unquote, winning the world title without basically the match airing or anything or any storyline purposes in WCE for it to exist. The current champion was Mr. Brightside. He had just wrestled the man on my screen, James Marshall. Mr. Brightside had defeated James Marshall, or Catalyst, and Catalyst basically passed out, or he was submitted more or less, and there was no anything of James Marshall or Catalyst or Mr. Brightside to have relinquished that championship. And what Craven Rage had did when he was here was he basically unveiled something, basically saying that he had the world championship and that he was given this title and management had granted him this, but the Ring of Destruction show in WC had not released to the public, and there was no advertisement of any sorts that would tell you that Craven Rage was in a world championship match or was to win the world title. So basically, what was seen was that Craven Rage kind of in a way went into the business for himself, spoiled it for the audience, and basically told everybody he was the world champion, but there's no rhyme or reason. It wasn't even if there was a match or something to have been promoted on a match card or a poster. There was none of that. So we were basically left with the fact that he was the world champion, and that was kind of don't even watch the rest of the show. So that's what happened. You can tell me your thoughts on that. Well, I don't want to go that far, DG. But yeah, he was lying. Unfortunately, he should not have lied. Yes, thanks for having me on. I have Omen here. You want to say something, Omen? And by the way, I know there was a comment out there that had a whole bunch of 0 and 1s from 01010001111. It felt like my fire sirens going off earlier in the day from him and Dark Ruler. And Dark Ruler was out there, and I certainly wonder what that'll be. But Omen, do you have anything?
It's got to be a troll, Tom.
Well, we had Brandon the Ruler, but I don't know why Brandon the Ruler said he was in WWE. But do you want to say anything, Omen, before I let James get to some final thoughts? You have a few words you want to say, Omen, before we mercifully end the show?
Well, Tom, I'm gonna know what. I'm gonna dig into that troll that was in the comments earlier about being the Dark Father. You know, that's such an odd thing to bring up back House of Wolves days, but I can assure you that I have no idea what the fuck that is, but I'm going to look into it.
I appreciate that, Omen. Thank you so much for giving us some light or maybe darkness in what has been a rather dark episode. Certainly people will remember this date on July 23rd, 2024. And I'm sure we'll see you tomorrow with Anthony Steele's show, which I'm sure will be rather entertaining now. I'll certainly be sure people will tune in. But thank you, Omen. I'm going to mute you out. James, I'm going to give you the floor. Okay. Would you like to say anything else before we go?
Yep. I'd like to, as part of the locker room leadership of WCE, I'd like to humbly apologize to everyone that's watching tonight on Sportswire. What was said wasn't supposed to be said. Cat's out of the bag now. All we can do is learn from this lesson, try to fix it, and move forward. And hopefully you guys can watch and enjoy Ring of Destruction 3 foremost.
Well, you can look at it from one sense that you know what? This gives you new publicity. Any publicity is good publicity, I've been reminded. So maybe it'll get more people to tune in, but I don't think it's the right way to go about it. It is what it is. Jack Delta, it's a new one. Yeah, I can't say I've ever seen that before. I mean, accidents happen, but undermining the rest of the guys on the card, it's something that I want to say this one more time before I go. And I know I've been saying this the entire evening. This is the one reason that I always tell people, right? And this includes Omen. Omen calls me and he talks to me, and I always say, don't tell me who's going to win. Don't tell me who's going to lose. I don't get into business because I truly believe in that protection to protect not only the wrestlers that come in, but the people and everybody else, and myself included. So that way we don't have that. I don't want to have a situation like this. That's why I'm always so careful. I never want to get in the business of those things, because I know that things like this, something can happen. Somebody blurts something out of their mouth. Somebody says something like this, and that's why I always say I don't influence people who wins and loses. I don't ask. I don't do the brown nose. And I'm a believer. Even somebody asked me earlier, do I read spoilers of wrestling results and tapings? No, for the same reasons. And that's what it is. Follow WC. Yes, thank you, Il Drago. I got to get you on here. I should have had maybe you on instead, but it is what it is. Maybe people will tune into WC. Listen, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce. I am your voice figuratively and literally where all wrestling matters. If you haven't yet, please hit the sub button for me at Sportswire Radio 6579. I am still one step closer to 1,000 subs, and you can roast me on the air. I promise you, you can do more to me than what happened or what should not have happened with MJ on the screen. And I will certainly be okay with that, because you get me to 1,000 subs, and you can certainly, roast me. And who knows, maybe Omen will want to roast me because it's his show.
Can I be the roast master?
You can certainly. I'm sure you're going to want to roast me more than anybody.
No. Let me be the roast master. The whole roast.
I'd prefer Nikki Glazer to be my roast, but I don't think I have that much money to buy her. But maybe you never know. But obviously, we'll certainly, I'm sure, set that in stone before my birthday. But yes, I always say it all the time. I don't want spoilers, please, and I say it for these reasons tonight. Yes, thank you, Hillbilly Tilly, for your support. Thank you. Please support the guys. WCE Heat. Check them out. I'm sure the show will be out. And we were joined by Nicholas Crenson, Sean Jovi, a slew of other people, Omen Black, James Marshall, MJ, Craven Rage. I'll see everybody 10 o'clock Eastern time. I don't have much of a voice left, but thank you, everybody, for tuning in on Twitch, the Promo Wrestling Federation YouTube page, sportswireradio.org. Listen, lessons learned. Hopefully, WCE, you learn from this, and we can live and let die.